It's Bad Movies Rule. For the next 2 hours, we're going hard. We're leaving it all on the field. It's Varsity Blues. Let's go. You guys want to be heroes?
Oh, yeah. Cue Foo Fighters.
There goes my hero.
We got the next 120 minutes for the next 120 years of our lives.
That's right. Let's go. Man, I am hyped. It would be awesome if on the show we had like a coach that would just get us like in a circle before we do an episode and just freaking.
All right, you guys, let's go. Think
You know
about
what I'm
it.
saying?
And a banner to run through. Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but we had a drum line that used to walk through the halls of the school the day of game day. So, like, through the halls in the morning, we'd all be wearing our jerseys. Drum line is going.
That would be so hype.
Yeah, it would be.
That would be awesome.
How could you focus on doing, like, you're in biology class and you're like, bah, 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 da, 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 da. It'd just be like,
No, it was more badass than that, though, the drum line.
I was like,
It was just the drummers.
I'm sorry, I can't do a mouth band as good as your marching band.
Yeah.
Nice try.
In biology, they just start all of a sudden, it jolts you, your finger ends up next to the frog you're dissecting that day.
Yeah. Oh,
Perfect. Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh, we did fetal pigs.
We did those too, yeah.
we did cats.
We did frogs and sharks, I think we did. And earthworms.
Yeah, we did earthworms, grasshoppers,
Man,
fetal
why did we
pigs,
get cats?
I
That's
studied
like the
all
worst
high school.
one.
All my high school biology study was extracurricular.
All right, let's introduce who we got going on here.
Health class.
Speaking of coaches, Patrick Riley's in the house. Welcome in. On a movie, I mean, unless your opinions change, I know you love.
Well, we'll see what happens. We're not going to give it away at the beginning.
Rare. Well, we've been talking about it for 3 weeks. And Stephanie Farrell back again.
Whoa.
Now, the reason you're here, I was telling you before we started rolling, you're not a football person.
I am not.
You never played football professionally.
No, I was actually in the marching band. So I went to a lot of games, but
because
football wasn't really my thing.
everyone else in this room played high school football. We've got the mayor,
Ooh,
Ryan
okay.
Mueller.
I am here.
We have over at the kids' table the dirt farmer, Clint Bush. And the only person I played football with in the room was Clint. I didn't play with you guys, y'all. We all went to different schools together. But everybody here played football. I wanted to have at least one person, Steph, that had not come from that background.
I was a big tomboy growing up, so I did a lot of like tackle football with like the neighbors, and my cousins and stuff, but I
That counts.
wasn't on the football team in high school.
Fair
Could have
enough.
probably helped our football team.
The only girl football player I knew of back at that point was Kathy Ireland in the movie Necessary Roughness.
Yeah, that's true.
The only don't ask me why I watched that.
Yeah, would I have been allowed to play?
Well, we did have, at least my freshman year, we did have a girl tryout for the team. And I know one of the other schools in Racine had a girl on their
Oh, there you
team
go.
as well. So,
Nice.
yeah.
We had the Powder Puffs. Remember
Did
the
you
Powder
say that you
That
had
was a bigger thing, the
tryouts
Powerpuff.
for football?
Yeah.
We went to a school that just if you wanted to play football, you played football.
Yeah.
Except for freshman year.
There was no freshman sports, so freshmen had to try out.
Yeah, that's it.
For the
You're a
summer.
freshman, you're a hose.
Oh, see, and I played in a
Come back next year.
I played in a conference in the Chicago suburbs. Like a bunch of people that I played with and against wound up either in the NFL or the CFL.
Dang.
A lot of people got D1 rides and things like that. So we had freshman A and B, sophomore A and B,
Yeah.
JV and varsity.
That's a huge team.
And we actually played a couple freshman C games even. So that was like where I was playing like safety.
Yeah.
When I was a tight end, you know, like
star for the day.
yeah, it was just like, let's go try out a completely different position.
Yes. See, we didn't
what she
have
said.
that many people, but that's crazy, dude. That's a lot of
That's a
people.
lot.
Yeah, I mean, we were in one of those places too. Where, we had two in our conference, Naperville North and Naperville Central. They would play their crosstown game at North Central College's stadium because the high school stadiums were not big enough when the two of them played against each
And
other.
we would occasionally have somebody on the other team, never our team, mind you. We were from Antioch, Illinois.
Well, Paul DeJong from baseball's from there.
Baseball, no, he did, was a Sequoit. But football, we didn't have. We would occasionally play a team. Like, there was a guy, like a wide receiver on North Chicago that was like going to Michigan or something, right? Like, you'd occasionally have that guy. But
Or we went
never.
to Stevenson once, and it was everybody.
And it was like the whole team. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
exactly.
we played Stevenson a lot.
They
Warren
were
Township.
crazy.
And
I can't say we played.
We lost a lot.
All right, guys, if you've never listened to the show before, we are going to go through this movie scene by scene. Before we do that, in a second here, I'm going to lay out all the vitals, who wrote it, directed it, what the critics had to say, how it qualifies for our show. And then at the end, we're going to give you our final ratings. We're going to say, all right, were the critics right? Were the people right? Is this a good movie or a bad movie, or sometimes a bad movie that rules? So we're going to jump straight in here, and we are going to talk about who directed this movie. It's directed by Brian Robbins, written by Peter Iliff, who is making his second appearance on the show. He wrote, and now I'm going to kick myself straight in my own nuts if I could do it, maybe with the heel of my foot. I can't remember
Don't worry,
what the
James,
heck
I got
movie,
you.
what the heck movie he wrote.
You got to do 10 burpees now, man. Yeah.
He wrote a BMR movie that we've covered before, and I should have put it on my outline. All right, internet, go look him up. He's done a BMR movie before, anyway, like a really crappy one too. But he wrote this one, which was better. Movie star James Vanderbeek. Listen to this cast: Vanderbeek, Voight, Paul Walker, Ron Lester, Scott Kahn, Amy Smart, and Ali Larder, all in this movie together. Movie came out in 1999 with a budget of $15 million, grossed $54 million, so it did well at the box office. I mean, modest size budget. And the ratings, like the audience loves this movie, guys.
Yeah, they do.
6.5 on IMDb, which is the 27th highest for us. So it ranks tied 27th with Phantom Menace, Batman vs. Superman, Last Action Hero, some other 6.5 movies that we've covered. So it's highly rated. And the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes is 76%, which is like also
up there. Yeah.
really high.
So why is it here?
Okay.
Well, it's funny you should ask that question because the critic score is a 45%.
What a bunch of idiots.
Again.
Oh, yeah,
morons.
totally. They're so
Total
dumb.
morons.
So they, and just some common, as I'm reading through, like formulaic, cliche, well-worn, formula of a sports movie. And I'm just like,
Yeah, it's because it works.
it's the formula
It's a
because
sports-
people like it. That's why they keep doing it over and over
It's a
again.
But you
sports
have to
movie.
do it right.
That's it. You just put your own spin on it.
It's a sports movie.
right.
There's no... sports are it. That's it. There's one way to do it.
I mean, every family sitcom is basically the honeymooners.
That's what, yeah.
Even the Flintstones.
We're the honeymooners.
There's a reason why big dumb husband, understanding wife,
Yes.
and dealing with the children being raised. Like, it connects to people.
Yeah, imagine
That sounds like my actual life.
Right. That's why people connect to it.
Especially
That's
the
what he's
big
saying.
dumb husband part.
Right? You've got a small dumb husband.
He's small, his tiny little jazz hands.
Fair enough. Well, that's why and so I just know people, as soon as we even say
They're
this
going to
episode,
roast us about it. Why is this on here?
Yeah.
It's a good movie. I looked up our writer guy,
yeah.
Prayer of the Roller Boys.
Prayer of the Roller Boys, that's what it was. And then now remember, it's come back to me. He followed up Prayer of the Roller Boys with Point
Break.
Freaking Break.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He went from Roller Boys to Point Break, and then later on, here he is writing Varsity Blues. So thank you for.
So you can go from
saving me.
roller boys to absolute monsters. That's cool.
Yeah.
I know, it's crazy.
Anybody, I mean, it's the dream's out there for everyone.
But I liked Roller Boys, so to me it tracks.
Well, and
Okay?
Brian Robbins, the director, is now the president of kids and family entertainment for Paramount.
Oh, is he really?
And I think that is the thing too. It's like you have a bunch of 50-year-olds writing their reviews, the critics of a movie that was specifically targeting
Us.
Us at the time.
Right.
each generation has their movie that follows these particular formulas, right?
Yes.
Like there's a reason why you aren't going to like this then because it wasn't your Varsity Blues of your youth.
They were the dads.
This came out in
They were the dads.
Yes, our dads, maybe. I know my dad might have liked this movie, but here's the thing. We graduated in 97. This came out in 99, so we're still fresh off the experience of playing high school football.
Can't relate.
What year were you born?
90.
Well, I graduated in 01.
Yeah, but
So
still,
like
you were
this
in
came
high school.
out
there.
when
You
I
were
was
in
a
high school.
junior. Yeah.
Yeah, you were
Yeah, 'cause
right in there.
Yeah.
I graduated in 08.
Okay, so you're.
I
Gen
saw
millennial?
the
You're a millennial.
spoof of this movie,
Oh, not another teen.
and that was one of my favorites.
Oh, perfect. Now you see where all the jokes came from.
Yeah.
Had you ever seen this before?
No, I hadn't seen it,
Oh my
but I had
goodness.
seen Not Another Teen Movie a lot.
There were so many times
And now
I
I'm
wanted
like,
that joke.
Yeah, I'm like, I love this. Like, that makes that movie so much better.
There you go. I've never seen that movie, so I'm like
Oh
the
my
reverse of
gosh.
you.
Oh, you got to see. It's like the last
must.
good
All right,
spoof
see
movie.
y'all later.
No, stay, please, stay.
The guy that did the spoof of John Cryer's character, from Pretty in Pink, he's also in this movie briefly.
Oh, for like a hot second.
Yeah.
All right.
When we get there.
Well, yeah, the same actor that played Billy Bob is also in
that I read.
Reggie Ray.
Yeah, Reggie Ray. It's okay to bleed from the ears.
Well, guys, thank you. And hopefully we're not making you bleed from the ears while you're listening to Bad Movies Rule. But just want to shout you guys out and say thank you all for listening. If you look in the show notes, you'll see all the ways you can connect with the show, reach out, join the Patreon, all that. But really what I want to focus on today, guys, is just let you know about this thing that happened with us that I didn't really anticipate. There's been this awesome community that has kind of built up around Bad Movies Rule. So if you get a chance to, if you go on the Patreon, I think it's at the second tier, $5 a month, you can join our Discord. And what's happened on the Discord is it's turned into like its own community. They do watch parties almost pretty much every single night.
It's every night now.
Constantly just talking and interacting, and they just built I'm watching people build these like awesome friendships, and they're find people they can hang out with and watch movies and stuff. And that's something I didn't anticipate when I started the show. But if you want to be part of this community, everybody in there is super welcoming. They're just anytime a new person. I can't keep
up with the Discord.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like,
yeah, it's wild.
You told me when I joined, you said don't turn your notifications on. It'll be like, and you were absolutely correct.
So you turned them off?
Awesome.
It's true.
Yeah. Oh no, they are definitely off of the Discord.
But even when like a new person joins, it's like 47 people like saying hello.
Yeah, they're like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Like it's awesome.
It's really cool. So if you want to do that, head over to patreon.com and /Bad Movies Rule. We appreciate all you guys. All right, guys, it's time to pay the bills. You ready to jump into the plot, y'all? I'm going to start saying y'all a bunch because of the movie we're talking about here in West Canaan, Texas. Ready?
Ready.
Let's do it, guys. We got the opening of Varsity Blues, and there's a flag waving, and it looks like it's America, and then it's like, nope, it's Texas. It's Texas.
Yeah, just kidding.
We hang our flag higher.
We live by one rule, football rules in West Canaan, and that's all that matters. Like we don't even recognize the law down here.
That's what I'm saying.
No, Bud Kilmer's the law.
The teenagers can go drinking in bars and strip clubs.
It's literally Mox is given the opening, voiceover, and he even says like there's law, and then there's the football, and it shows these refs doing all these things, and that's all they care about down there. Like if a cop tried to pull them over, you're right, they wouldn't do anything. But if a ref popped out and was like illegal speeding, then they would stop immediately.
That's what they did there. They just had refs throwing the flags, like speed trap flag. They stop.
Perfect.
And then the car, they'd throw out the red flag. Nope, challenging that.
Maybe we should do that. We should do that. Let's look into it.
We should do it.
They're notoriously refs always kind of make the right calls. So there's video of Mox and Billy Bob and them playing pee-wee football when football was fun and pure and all that. And then now they pull out. Now they're at the high school, the home of the Coyotes, West Canaan High, and Bud Kilmer Stadium. And there's a statue and the stadium. Generally, this happens after someone's gone, retired, passed away. But when the guy's still there and the stadium is named after him and there's a statue of him, that's next level. Dude.
They also
23 state champion.
He's
division championship.
I think 2 state championships.
2 state champs, 22
division.
My high school stadium was named after Coach Rex, who had coached Jim Rexilius, who coached long before I played. He won 3 in like 11 years. So Bud Kilmer can suck it. 2 in 30 years.
Yeah, that's
okay. Cool.
Come on.
And it was 8 years ago was the last one at this point.
Get out of here.
Because in the movie, it's 98 is the class year of that one. But look,
Texas football's big though.
It is huge. They just named in Burlington the field after Tony Romo, and hasn't played here in 20 years. Right?
Yeah, he was in my class in 98.
Right, exactly. So
he gave him turf, like, here, you don't have to mow the lawn.
Yeah, you get the...
But 2 of his starting quarterbacks went to the NFL. Chuck Long and Kent Graham came out of my high school.
There you go. From that same coach?
Yep. 81, I think it was the 81 and the 86 teams.
Well, Bud Kilmer here thought he was having a boy, Lance Harbor, make it all the way to the NFL, and he was really trying to make it happen. We're getting into that right now. The movie opens inside Mox's house, and the dad, played by it's turned into a BMR regular, Thomas F. Duffy.
Yeah, I was like, listen to Wagons East. I'm like, oh, man, we got another Duffy movie coming up here.
He was in Lost World, got ate by a T-Rex.
Yeah.
He was a cop in Rubber, that awful, awful movie. Then he was just one of the Fergusons in Wagons East. And now he's Mox's dad.
I feel like this is like I'm only invited now for these.
And he looks totally different in every movie.
He doesn't.
In Lost World, he looked like you. Okay, right? With the beard and the hair.
Well, let's settle down. I think I'm slightly better looking than that man. Slightly. But yeah, you're right.
He looked like a dirty cowboy. And,
I got more curls.
Now he's like, now he's got the horseshoe hair dad vibe, going on.
On a broken nose for most of the film.
And he says to his son, "Have you prayed for playing time yet?" Right?
Oh, don't worry, my little brother's upstairs attached to a cross.
I was going to say, let's
That's
not skip
alarming
over.
at all.
The little brother is phenomenal.
Yeah.
As a mother, I totally wouldn't be worried about my son if he did that.
No, and she just said he's very spiritual.
And Mom wasn't either. She seemed like a booze hag.
Like, oh, that's so sweet, honey.
Yeah.
Did you start a religious cult?
Yeah. Oh, how cute.
let me take another sip of my wine.
You know what, though? I'm going to give that mom credit.
Take another Percocet.
She does. She mixes it in with her coffee.
She
That's
does,
why
yeah.
nothing
Like, this
affects
is
her.
great.
No.
That's why nothing affects her. Go ahead.
No, I'm going to give her credit, though. She's given her son the opportunity to spread his wings in a town that
He
probably
can't spread his wings. They're attached to a
crushes all of them.
cross.
Yeah. Just don't let Bud Kilmer see you on that cross.
That's right.
Right, yeah.
He's got dreams of Kyle playing for Kilmer someday.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably shouldn't.
Daddy Mox.
Yeah.
What's this
And,
guy, the actor's name? Joe Pickler,
Yeah.
I think. He's been missing since 2006.
Yeah. He's just not around.
Yeah, he disappeared.
He's just gone.
Maybe he did start a cult.
Yeah, maybe. He's anyway.
Hey, people,
so
can you do some research on that?
Mox, we find out, is the backup quarterback, right?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
this
What
is
a
why it's
loser.
funny. Like Kyle's running around on his cross, and he's like, "You got to let him concentrate on the game." I'm like, "Concentrate on riding the bench? Like, what's the big deal, Dad?"
Read
Look,
my
but-
book.
Here's the thing. As a Bears fan, I don't understand why Mox isn't the most popular person on the team because normally it is our backup quarterback that is the most popular Bears
True.
player.
You're true.
When you get down the road, it's like, I think Mox has a better arm, honestly.
Yeah. So
That was my thought, too.
Billy Bob comes and pulls up in his dude. That truck was
That
sick.
truck was
Yeah, oh,
awesome.
yeah.
I love that truck.
I was like,
I'm a sucker for those
Full
square
redneck
bodies.
wood.
"Hey,
Oh, yeah. Raised.
I like how
light
I
bar.
didn't. You guys are saying I didn't pay attention to the truck at all.
not at all."
No,
No?
we have those trucks specifically because women just
Flock to them.
flock to them.
Yeah.
Well, there was
so
a
you
pig
can't
in the
possibly
passenger
have
seat,
not
so
seen it.
Pig even had his name on the door.
He did.
Bacon's name was on the door.
I actually had
I
a
love
pig for a
that
short time.
dog.
His name was Bacon.
There you go.
Yeah.
crispy bacon.
I love that dog.
Billy
I
Bob.
think he's a pig.
Billy Bob is scooping peanut butter with pancakes and shotgunning maple
Yes.
syrup.
Yeah.
And you know what? Respect.
I'm
That's
here
all
for
I
it.
gotta say.
I'm here for it.
Who hasn't done this?
He's got to stay bulked up, man.
I did that on the way here.
Although, honestly, it was after the game that we normally went to Denny's, and then I would just be like, yeah, I got this coupon for a 2-for-1 Grand Slam. Or I get a lumberjack slam. I get 2 lumberjack slams, all bacon.
That's right.
And then they wouldn't take my coupon. So week after week, I just kept using this coupon.
It's like Ron Swanson, right? Bring me
Yeah.
everything in.
Yeah.
I hear.
All the bacon.
I feel like you heard me say, "Bring me one of everything."
Yeah.
Bring me everything.
Bring me all the eggs and bacon.
Eggs and bacon.
You had it laminated after a while. It's getting a little tattered. I don't want to lose this.
Yeah.
Your picture was just up on the wall.
Why is this coupon laminated?
Yeah.
You just walk through the door. 2. I need 2.
2. Give me the
just had-
Riles special.
They just had it waiting. They knew it was game day. Patrick's showing up. They're like,
right.
we got to have these 2 ready
Here
to
he
go.
comes, batting down the hatches.
Although sometimes we would go to Baker's Square, and then I would get
Those poor people.
I would get the sampler, the American focaccia sandwich, and a pie.
Yeah.
And a whole pie.
A whole pie.
I love it.
And I got to tell you, I know a lot of people out there are like, yeah, he's fat. Of course. I was 210 pounds.
Yeah.
Felt.
Oh, all
when
of
I
us
was
were.
just, I mean, when you're playing sports year
yeah.
round,
Yeah.
there's nothing sticking to the body, and you're just
You can eat whatever.
funneling everything. Pizzas, macaroni and cheese for dinner.
Didn't matter. And listen, you could eat a pile of bricks after a game and it tastes fantastic.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you just want to eat whatever.
That's how it was when I was a dancer. I
Yeah.
was dancing for like 5, 6, 7 hours a day. I could eat whatever I wanted.
Nice.
And I took that mentality with me after I stopped dancing. And here we are.
I eat less now than I did then.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Me too.
Yeah.
Like, it would be nothing for me.
Worse.
And I was like 170 pounds by the time I left high school. I'd still eat a whole pie, whole pizza,
Oh, yeah,
like
entire
a
pizza.
large pizza.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up in Racine. We had the best thin crust pizzas around.
Man,
Yeah.
life
Man,
is
just eat a
depressing.
whole large. Just
We'd
keep
eat Taco
bringing it.
Bell and ask questions to the drive-thru like, or at the counters, like, how many tacos can you fit on a tray? We need the answer. Go.
It just wants Ron Swanson and just like all the tacos. Just bring me all the tacos.
All of them.
And the burritos.
Right.
Mexican pizzas, everything.
They were 59 cents a piece.
Man, I'm
Brian.
so hungry. What the hell?
They pick up, so they swing by and they pick up Lance Harbor, played by Paul Walker, and this dude has a
scene.
billboard in front of his
Himself.
damn house.
in front of his own house. And I'm just thinking, like, where do you print stuff like that?
Oh, hold on.
It's not even life size. It's like 5 times the size
Yes.
of him.
Maybe he kept getting dropped off at the wrong house. He didn't know where to go. It's like, no.
Here, dummy.
It has my face. This must be the right house.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we had something similar growing up.
Like the little, tiny little
Home of a fighting sequoia.
Yeah, home of a fighting sequoia.
So look,
Well,
the
like
entire
the
town,
music at this moment, you just.
the entire town budget was spent on the Bud Kilmer statue and starting quarterback.
It's still there.
That was
You know,
also positioned like a
murals.
sex doll.
Okay. Fine. But they apparently have billboard maker on speed dial because as soon as the quarterback changes, they're marching a billboard right up to Mox's
Dude,
house.
based on this school, that was art class. That was one of the art classes.
point.
Was football decorations,
point.
pep
Right.
rally
Okay,
that
guys,
stuff.
here's
pep
your
rally was
project
out of
for the week.
control, dude.
Oh my god!
You need that art
Right.
credit. We need billboards.
All right, guys,
Get to
look.
it.
Yeah.
Lance went down. We need a Johnny Mox and billboard immediately.
Guy throws the ball twice.
It has to look photorealistic.
Yeah.
Okay.
They probably just have a bunch of heads and they just swap it out on whoever the quarterback is.
Well, I was about to say,
There's
like,
a Billy Bob one just in case he ever gets called in as the QB.
But the problem with that is Vanderbeek's head doesn't fit anybody else's head. Is that what you were going to say? I'm sorry. I'm amazed I got a football helmet
dude-
around Vanderbeek's head.
Yeah, but then he could cover anybody else's head.
Sorry. So ahead, stop.
James, I've given you massages before.
Oh, yes.
You have a large head.
I know.
It's weak sauce.
You're
James
not telling me-
Vanderbeek, you have nothing on him.
I know. I feel like I've said this before. I can never, after 150 episodes, I don't know what I've said and what I haven't. Clint Bush and I were the only 2 people on the team that needed the extra large helmet size. They had to get special.
They had to order them in.
They had to order them in.
We wore practice helmets for a week before our helmets got there.
It's true.
Direct from Riddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So to lay off Vanderbeek's giant dome, okay?
I forget who it
It's
is, but
genetic.
somebody has this like working theory that in order to be a star, you have to have a big head.
Oh, yeah?
Like the bigger the face, the bigger the head.
I will tell you
the
this.
bigger the star.
The star.
I will tell you this. When I saw Julius Peppers come into the bank in Highland Park, dude had the most enormous cranium I'd ever seen on a man in my life. And he was just in sweatpants, just standing in line. I like, from behind, I didn't know who it was. Like, who is that? And I came back
Like a
around and realized it was
shadow.
That guy
Julius
like half
Peppers.
grizzly bear.
Right.
6'7".
The size of that man's head, I can't even. It could be a container for other heads.
Yeah, 6'7", 290, and a
maybe it
giant
is.
dome.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like Men in Black.
nuts.
There's aliens in there.
Could be.
I didn't care at the time because he was a Bear. I didn't know he was going to be a Packer at some point. I would have cared a lot more. All right. Then they go and they pick up Tweeter, which is basically Bob Hauser.
Tweeter's awesome.
I
need to get
think
some
Tweeter
tail.
is more unhinged than Bob, though.
No, with some very important differences.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But
let's not compare Bob to Percocet dropping Tweeter
no, that's
either.
what I'm saying. Obviously that. But people have said before that Bob looks like Scott Conn, and then he, in ways in this movie, kind of acts like Bob.
I think Bob's a prettier man than Scott Conn.
I agree.
You think so? All right. He'd be happy to hear you say that.
know-
I'm not going to say that. I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
I'm going to make Bob's head as big as James Vanderbeek, but honestly, the person that he reminds me of the most is Jensen Ackles
Oh, from Supernatural?
from Supernatural.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and his character, honestly, in The Boys, if you guys have seen the most recent season of The Boys, reminds me so much of Bob. Just all the lines he says, I'm like, yeah, Bob.
There you go.
Bob could have played that character. Bob would have said that.
Well, we pick up here at a pep rally
Oh my God.
at this high school with a hell of a speech by Bud Kilmer.
Oh, and
Go Pack! Go Pack!
and just does
But
a
it's his
hand
own
wave,
resume.
hand rave, quiets the crowd, just hand up.
I had a
Crowd shuts
dream,
up.
Hey, I'm Bud Kilmer. Y'all
and we're
shut
going to
up.
win by way more, so all good.
Bud Kilmer. All right. First of all, how do they feel such a good team? When this school is tiny, there's like 4 rows of bleachers.
Yeah.
Right? And even in Antioch, we could fill an entire giant gym.
I think there were more people,
Yeah.
but they were in shop class making billboards.
Good
got it.
point.
They were busy.
Good point. Someone had to cut those out.
Outdoor Ed was out there cleaning up the field, getting it prepped and ready.
The landscaping team.
So wait,
Outdoor Ed.
I didn't. You're right. Bud does give his own resume.
Yeah, he's a dick.
Just so you know.
I won
two state
championships.
Could you imagine?
And I've won 22 division titles.
Steven
We're going
Seagal
for
is a better
23.
human being than Bud Kilmer.
Wow.
That is a bold statement.
That might be just a touch too far, or not.
We'll see by the end of this.
But legitimately, this is only the pep rally we watched.
Yeah,
Right.
True.
Yep.
I'm assuming they do this every week because this wasn't homecoming. It wasn't the last game of the year.
Game
This was
four.
just
By the way,
Friday.
I know I said it last Tuesday, but I have brought 2 state championships
Right.
and 22 division titles.
In case y'all forgot.
In case y'all forgot.
Y'all got that?
Did you see that statue
Good.
of me?
They bring poor dove-eyed dumbass Paul Walker up there to give his speech. I had a dream, and we were winning 14-3, and the girls just went, you were
And
sleeping.
he's like, but I woke up sad. Oh.
They're falling all over. There were more concussions from the girls falling down and hitting their heads than there were in the football game.
Yeah,
I feel like
I
they
think
just
so.
were just collapsing all like it was a Michael Jackson concert or something, just falling down.
I mean, if we had Paul Walker as our quarterback,
Were you saying it's a valid, just
I don't
literally
know.
anything that came out of that guy's mouth and they were like falling all over themselves.
Yeah.
I won't. I won't.
I don't know. I'm gonna say no. He's a
Agree
better
or deny.
driver than a
She's a-
quarterback.
I was going to say, I wouldn't
better
trust him to
driver than a
drive the
quarterback.
team.
Suddenly Stephanie's a politician.
He was riding shotgun.
I plead the
There's a reason he got picked up
Yeah.
and wasn't driving to school.
Mox. Now, apparently, this is where we get a little insight into Mox. Mox seems to actually hate football. All he wants to do is hang out with his girlfriend, Jules, played by Amy Smart, under the bleachers, wear his baggy jeans with the hammer loop on the side.
Yep.
Get out of town.
Those jeans were so comfortable, though.
They were.
They were just a little too
I'm pretty
baggy.
sure
but
I even wore those jeans.
As soon as I saw them, I rewound. I was like, Dana, look at the jeans. That is perfect. He could carry a hammer if he wants to. They're just big in the
You hang a
thighs.
six
But
pack off
nothing
that
else.
loop. Yeah, no
but a
problem.
hammer if he wants to.
If he wants to.
To put up his
If it's
billboard.
another tool, then forget it.
Whatever.
But a hammer, it's there.
Oh, it made me so happy. The only movies at the time they're going to get the fashion right are the movies that are made then. Now people make a 90s thing, and it's all the cliche 90s outfits that everybody wears. You know what I mean? But like,
That's true.
that was like legit what people were wearing at the time, and I loved that personally. All right, so we get to the pregame here for the first game, and they're all in the locker room getting psyched up, and Billy Bob comes in with a translation of Psalm 23 that I'm not familiar with. Not one that I don't think it says that in the Hebrew, but we also, this is actually for later, the most important thing is Mox sees Paul Walker getting shot up in the training room with a syringe into his knee.
And they like shut the door as if it's supposed to be this big secret. And I'm like, you are literally in the locker room with
Door
like
open.
20 other players right outside the door.
Yeah, but Mox, he knows Mox. Mox is the kind that's going to raise
like, man,
hell about this.
The whistleblowers here. Shut the door.
Mox has been a pain in Kilmer's ass for as long as he's been on the team, I'm sure.
If your daddy would have poured a holler out for me, I'd have cut you months ago.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because he's sitting on.
That was a really good impression.
We haven't had that one yet, I don't think.
During the actual game.
Yeah.
They're winning going away. It's like 27-14 or something like that, and they're going to score another, make it 35. And Mox is just sitting on the bench with looks like he's reading his playbook, but he's got like,
Kurt Vonnegut.
big brain
Slaughterhouse
book.
5, yeah.
Slaughterhouse 5 inside his playbook, and he's reading, and the ball rolls up to his feet, from like a broken play or whatever. He never gets off the bench, reaches down and throws a frozen rope to the ref on a line 50 yards.
Sitting down, leaning
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
And they had to make sure that you knew that it was a really good throw because when the ref catches it, he's like,
And even the coach is like,
Yeah.
That's the most action your boy's seen all season.
Oh, don't get me started on the other dads. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Gosh.
I can't wait for the
Glory
with the dads.
days.
Yeah, we're going to talk about them when we get to the practice session
good.
here. But
Oh, good.
on the final play, Billy Bob is like leading the way for this final touchdown, lead blocker, taking out dudes, and he ends up concussed. And this is important because this is like the through line of the plot for the entire movie. So he ends up concussed. They have to use the smelling salts to wake him up, which I've seen that happen on the field before. It's scary. He wakes up. Did we score? Yeah, we scored, Billy Bob. And
how many fingers am I holding up?
oh, that's right. I forgot.
3?
Don't forget
No,
that.
it's got to be true
No,
or
true or
false.
false.
Billy Bob.
True or false?
The man's
He's
holding up some fingers.
True? Question mark.
He's all good.
And then,
No, he's not.
those were the
I've been there. My personality has permanently been changed from being knocked out cold twice on a football field.
Yeah.
Face down, motionless.
was
Well, and
legit the concussion test back in the day.
Oh, it was. It was rub some dirt on it.
Yep.
Let's go. Walk it off. All the cliches.
Take some ibuprofen. Get rid of the headache.
The only time I got cuz was in practice. I was a kickoff wedge breaker, and I remember diving into the wedge, and it was Jason Yoltis, okay? And then I dove into the wedge, and then I remember waking up on the ground.
Yeah,
And
I was there. He died.
Yeah. You remember that?
Yeah, you died.
Yeah.
I like how we all laughed as if.
Well, he's all right now.
Yeah.
At the
was
time we
funny.
laughed, it was like, wait, is he all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's all right.
wait.
Yeah, true, yeah. Still funny.
But that's like
crazy.
this movie takes a super like dramatic turn.
Yeah.
At this point, and this is where I feel like the movie kind of has like an identity crisis.
A little bit.
Well, it's not like it doesn't know what it wants to be.
I mean, it's
Yeah, but that's teenagers.
Yeah.
this is a dramedy.
I
off
mean
the
that's
hit,
fair.
though.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Right. It wants to in some ways glorify the
Want
lifestyle
Jules or
of
Darcy?
football and all of that, and then it wants to be like look at the dark underbelly of it at the same
Yep.
time, right? So, yeah, it's trying to do both.
Oh, and that's, I think if you played high school football, I don't know about the rest of you, but I know for me, there was the parts where I was like, this is what I absolutely despised about being a football player. This is what I absolutely loved about being a
that's the
football
thing.
Looking
player.
at it now,
To me, the positives
when you
were always more important.
18,
Yeah.
you didn't think about it.
No.
You were not.
I didn't play my senior year because, well, I mean, first of all, I was too high, but also like there was a lot of other problems with the team. We had this real cult-like night. The night before our final game, my junior year, and I just remember walking away going, "What the hell was that?"
Yeah.
yeah.
I got you.
And it shook me to my core.
See, this is really eye opening for me.
Yeah.
Because obviously I didn't play high school football. I
Oh,
didn't.
sure.
You should have.
No,
It would've been awesome.
I mean,
lot of this is
I
pretty
agree. I played a lot of sports though, so I understand the like camaraderie and things from sports. So it's interesting to hear.
That's what it ultimately was. Like the good always outweighed the bad for me, and the good was playing alongside your friends, picking up your teammates.
Right.
Absolutely.
Oh, you had
doing it
friends in high
together.
school?
But we look at
You
this
know.
now, it's like we had Stu. How many games
Can't
did he have to sit
relate.
out with the concussion?
Oh,
he
Stu
got
sat out
his
a-
bell rung a few times.
Stu got rocked. Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Bell rung.
Yeah.
Not concussion, not traumatic brain injury.
Well, it coulda was.
Not CTE.
No, it could have. That's
got
what I'm
your
saying.
bell
though.
rung. Both times I got knocked out cold. It was on a Friday and it was a
CTE
Saturday.
back then was cookies and tacos everywhere. That's all we cared about back then. They
Oh
had
shit, man! We're gonna be bringing that back.
and tacos everywhere.
right.
But both times I got I'm talking knocked out cold on the field. One time they literally had to ask me 3 times to move my extremities because nothing was moving, and I was like, I did move it. I was back on the field by Tuesday.
Well, this is what
God.
happens. So Bud Kilmer comes in and asks Billy Bob about having his bell rung in the locker room, and he starts to tell him maybe he's not doing what he goes, never show weakness, right? And just like,
I need
blows it
you.
off.
Yeah, and he was talking
If there was
Well,
ever
who
an
is the-
opportunity, if there was ever a time where a dick punch was appropriate, it's right there.
When then it
Never
goes
show
to-
weakness. Yeah, my brain isn't working right now. You know that thing that controls the rest of my life?
Well, that's the thing. If he wanted to dick punch him, he would have ended up missing because he had no hand-eye coordination anymore.
Throw 'em
'cause
both.
His brain was
There's
soup.
a lot of moments in this movie
Yeah.
where we could
Wendell,
have dick punched.
Wendell
Yeah.
could have though because he
Wendell
asked him
could have.
about his knee and he said, "Well, can
Yeah.
never show weakness."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was just like, what the
All right.
He was a Kansas City Chief briefly.
Oh, was he?
Wendell?
The guy that played
Oh,
Wendell,
that played
yeah.
Wendell.
Really?
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So we go to the post-game
Did he
party.
date Taylor Swift?
And not
No.
that guy. No. At the post-game party, and I don't know about you guys, but these were a regular thing every single week.
Yep.
I don't remember some of those parties.
And
Clint?
even with us, they were out of control.
Yeah.
Some of the dads let go too much. Like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, the kids will just stay here. It'll be fine.
I remember
Right.
I remember one party at Kevin's house.
Yep.
That was absolutely bananas.
All parties at Kevin's house were that way.
Yeah. That was crazy.
See, and here's me thinking that this is like super unrealistic.
No, not at all.
No.
Really?
Well, they're
Not at
not.
all.
It's not
That's
like this
wild.
exactly. You know what I mean? It's not.
That's crazy.
This is definitely a little
Well, it's
to the next
it's
level.
cinematic, so
Yeah.
Yeah, this has been Hollywoodized.
But it's crazy.
Is it?
So
I'm asking you.
we didn't have football parties. The parties I went to were after I stopped playing football and started doing drugs. And those were a totally different type of party that was normally with somebody's like 23-year-old older brother. And
All right,
so
cool.
then, yeah.
Yeah,
Those are the
'cause, like-
ones where we had to wrestle somebody off of a 19-story balcony after he was tripping because he thought he was a dragon and could fly, and then we were all knights in shining armor trying to kill him.
Yeah, so not that dissimilar from our football parties,
Nope.
really. All right, so this is where we meet Darcy. Darcy is there, this is her movie debut, Allie Larder, playing Paul Walker's girlfriend, Darcy.
This is her movie debut?
It was.
Oh, I love that.
And she drops this line on him like, I need to be your wide receiver. I'm just like,
Too young for that.
I'm like, first of all, you don't need a line, Darcy. You just say, now, please. That's literally all. Like, guys don't need a line.
Well, I also love that he's like,
We appreciate
what,
it.
right here? And she's like, well, not right here, but somewhere. There's a bedroom.
Yeah, you're
Literally
outside the
behind
bedroom.
them.
Several, I'm
Just
sure.
go into the bedroom
least
and
two.
shut the
But
door.
yes, right here. Why do we go someplace else?
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Right here.
just
Honestly.
back
I'm
up
only
a little
17 once. Let's
Yeah.
just throw down.
Nothing about this interaction rang true to me from her, seductive pickup lines.
Oh, what,
Him
you mean a
going,
woman interested in a man in an aggressive manner? That doesn't ring true to you at all?
No, not at all, Clint. Because unless you've had some kind of magical charmed existence where women are throwing themselves at you.
I've had one woman for like 30 years. I think that's pretty magical.
That's pretty good. And she's awesome. Where'd we leave off?
Sorry.
Thanks
they
for
did not back into the
derailing
bedroom.
everything.
I broke James.
They're like,
Kids
let's go,
table.
into the, let's go into the garage
Yeah.
on the dryer.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know if I can concentrate out here. And she's like, let the dryer do the work.
Turn it on.
Yeah.
The dryer
Was there
on.
an uneven load
So
in there
why
that I didn't know
Honestly,
about?
like,
Yeah, what does she need him
I'm
then?
sorry,
Right.
but from a woman's perspective,
Please.
the dryer doesn't do anything.
Okay, and for me now as an old man, I'm just like, they didn't put a fabric softener in there, and those clothes are going to get dried twice.
It's gonna be staticky as hell.
Staticky
Well,
as
see,
hell.
they had to leave the washer open.
Honestly. And she put her butthole on the top of it. Somebody's going to have to wash that.
Ew.
Maybe she's got a clean butthole.
No.
This is 99. I don't
Yeah,
think we were
I'm
Just saying,
bleaching
you're not
buttholes
supposed
yet.
to put butts on other people's dryers, is all I'm saying. That's not her house.
Whose house is it even?
I don't know, but they're going to come out and be like, why does my dryer smell like somebody's ass?
Well, it's better than when I did
Why
to
do
a
you-
dryer one time. Had a party when I used it as a urinal, so.
Well, my question is, why are you sniffing the dryer?
Wait, you don't have to sniff it when you're just. I'm not going to demonstrate what's happening. Okay. Anyway,
I'd love it if you would.
I won't, though.
Just skid marks on the top of the dryer.
That's the only way I'd be like, what is this?
What's that odor that's wafting off this heating element here?
And why are my socks so staticky?
Who put their chocolate bar on top
Nobody
of the
put
dryer?
the Charmin or the
Fabric
the dryer
softener.
sheets
That's
in
what
there.
I'm saying, dude. All right. Billy Bob ends up puking in the washing machine.
You're going to go call some dinosaurs?
Yeah,
I can give
I think I might
holler.
give him a holler.
Busts down the door. Not into, again, they don't go in the bedroom. He
No.
also doesn't go into the bathroom.
No.
Everyone only goes into this room to take care of business.
I think the bathroom was shut down for remodeling in
Must
this
have
house.
been. Billy Bob vomits in there. That's disgusting. It ruined. I don't think.
Hot dogs.
I left you a
Assume-
couple hot dogs in here if you're hungry.
Assuming that was the end of that tryst between the two of them. But who knows?
Nah, they're in high school.
Practice. Let's get to practice. This is where we see the dads sitting outside practice. First of all, they're grown men watching practice.
None of them have jobs, apparently. They're just out there in their lawn chairs.
Yep.
Oh, they're having a time of their lives.
Well, practice
And
starts.
so are we.
Reaming their ass.
Practice starts at 4. You know, they could be
Maybe.
blue collar jobs starting
That
at
could
6,
be.
being done by
There's
2 or 3.
Hank Hilling it.
Yeah.
Man, he used to chew my ass just the same way. Those boys are having the time of their lives out
The
there.
time of their lives.
Man,
More
I
than that.
remember when I played me some football.
Yeah.
I bet I could chuck this ball clear over them mountains.
When I was the backup left guard back in high school, that was the peak of my life. Remember when we played that one Thanksgiving when we used to do the turkey bowl?
Yeah.
And there was those guys that were there trying to relive
Yes.
their glory days.
Yeah.
And then finally I was just like, I'm sitting there, just started a brand new job. My insurance hasn't kicked in yet. They're doing they're trying to do chop blocks at my knees.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Finally, I just forearm shivered one of them to the ground and then fell on him and just
it
held him
takes.
down to the ground. And I was just like, dude, I have a family.
Dude, I forgot.
Family.
I forgot about that. That was hilarious.
It takes a lot to push me to that level at this point in my life, but I'm like, dude, you are messing with my
it's-
livelihood if I have to go into surgery for
That's
a
when,
friendly game.
It's a turkey bowl.
Yeah. Flag
Friendly
football.
flag football.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
The last turkey bowl I did, I think, was at the McDonald's park in Lindenhurst, and I lost a shoe.
Yeah. There you go.
That was pretty bad.
That was pretty bad.
Still had one though.
All right, here's one of my favorite scenes in the movie, okay? Because he calls for the dummy-o, which is the scout team.
With your dummy-o quarterback. Follow your dummy-o quarterback.
The scout team, for those of you who don't know, is supposed to provide looks from the team that you're coming to play against, right? Whatever offense they typically run, you're going to run that offense to give your defense a chance to practice against it. That's the function of it. So in defense of Kilmer's reaction here, it is absolutely asinine that the scout quarterback would come out with some crazy formation
Calling
that
an
the other
audible.
team doesn't run. We calls it the frickin' oop-de-oop, okay?
Dude, when I used to play NCAA, I used to get my ass handed to me by my buddy Eric all the time. So I would just sit there. I would select Air Force. And it was like 98, 99.
Yeah.
And they had some stud quarterback. And I would just play 5 receiver sets the whole game, just air it out.
Yeah. But
I'd still lose 96-90, but still.
Okay, but the scout team shouldn't. So when Kilmer comes out there and grabs him by his face mask.
Dude, I hated that. Get your hand off my face mask.
You don't even listen.
No.
That's a 15-yard penalty.
Now, listen. I do love Voight's performance. I mean, he's a tool in this.
Yes,
He's
absolutely.
supposed to be. Great.
He
He's
does a
grabbing
really good job, though.
we do things around here my way.
Pulling them and like moving them side to
shaking him.
side.
Yeah.
That's how it
Dude.
was. He did it
Again.
exactly how it was back in
Yes.
the day.
Another dick punching moment.
Yes. We running so freaking oop-de-oop.
Oop-de-oop.
You just hear him as he's walking away, just still complaining.
And then what
He
happens?
killed me.
He calls the entire O team. Then it's practice over?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We were going to run one play for the defense.
Yeah. That's true.
Oh, this might be the next
Anyway.
episode I cry on. Tremors 2 got me, but this one might be it.
We cut back to a barbecue at Mox's house, and
Oh my
yeah.
God, this is the best scene I've ever seen in my
the
life.
dads. We starts with Lance's dad, who laughs like it's the first time I've heard this laugh since the kid in Cobra Kai was like, "Put him in a body bag."
Oh,
Johnny."
yeah,
you know,
yeah, right.
And, like, he busts that out when he's laughing about his son being the starting quarterback.
It's so funny because we showed Declan Twister,
Oh yeah.
and it's Joe's dad in the beginning who dies, unfortunately. We were like, why does he
Right.
look so familiar? And then we're
right.
like, oh yeah, he's in Twister.
That's true.
Man, yeah, this scene is
And they start
Phenomenal.
to argue over
There's a young Jesse Plemons in this scene,
which.
too.
Oh, that's right. One of the they're arguing over which of the two sons. If Kilmer, because Mox's dad says if Kilmer knew what the hell he was doing, my son would be starting quarterback, and that was like. And they even do the. Oh no, he didn't. They even do the Jaws zoom pull, like in on Mox, like his most dramatic
hey,
thing
Mox,
ever.
do you think you're better than Lance?
Do you think you're better than my boy?
Yeah. I seriously, I felt like I dropped acid and then just like started watching this movie. Like it just changed
'cause it
so
was-
dramatically.
This is called a bad trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very, very bad.
Mom, booze hag moms out there.
Yeah.
Show.
If you were married to that man, you would be drinking too.
Oh yeah.
Listen, but it's clear that the dads care 10 times more than the two of them do.
Oh yeah.
No, it's because they have
They're just
trophy children.
friends, or, yeah.
Yeah.
My kid
Yeah.
is my opportunity
Right.
to be great.
Oh yeah. It's
And so-
live through their kid.
I would, yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
Let's show
Live
them what it takes.
vicariously through them.
Let's show
William
them what it
Tell.
takes to
William Tell.
play quarterback for the Coyotes.
Bud Kilmer's Coyotes.
He puts the can of Lone Star, wasn't it Lone Star?
Yeah.
Beer on his head, and
Yeah, because you don't waste Shiner throwing footballs. You use Lone Star.
and so Lance comes out, nails it right off his head, and that's when he goes like, you know,
Like that truck from Maximum Overdrive, the Gremlin truck.
yes,
Well, wait, they ran routes.
Yeah, they ran routes
oh, yeah,
first.
that's right.
Oh, they look like such a
Stupidest button hook I've ever seen in my life.
This was the most Dale Dribble freaking route run ever in my life.
yeah. It's supposed to be 8 yards and in.
Yeah.
And that guy took I mean, it was a terrible button hook.
And it was so slow. I've seen old NFL players in wheelchairs run a faster button hook than that was.
And then Mox's dad's like, hit me on the slant,
Yeah,
right? And I'm
kind of
like,
a slow
Coming
button
out of
hook.
a 3-point stance, too.
Yeah.
like
I don't think they were tight ends.
Tight ends don't run slants usually. And it was probably more of a post because he was in like a tight end formation.
right.
None of this
And he was
means
up and
anything
over, not
to
a
He
me.
did run a post or a corner because he
Ran
went
a
up.
corner,
He went
yeah.
up and in. He didn't a slant. You're coming off the break immediately off the line.
Yeah.
Man, I just remember we had the
3
44
steps
wide
and slant.
go.
That's right.
And that was the one 44 Y go, and I was just running a fade as the tight end.
Right? 44Y go. You know what that is, Stephanie.
Yeah, I know all of what you're saying right now.
Perfect.
Just yell Omaha occasionally.
Omaha.
You'll be fine.
Eventually, Mox gets the ball, and his dad's like, throw it, you show him what he got.
Fire that pigskin.
Fire that f***ing pigskin! Oh!
He did. Yes, he did.
Right into his. I just
Totally knocked the beer can off his head.
He did.
Success.
Yeah.
There's two ways to measure success.
Technically, he succeeded.
That's one of my favorite lines in the entire movie. Thomas F. Duffy should get an award mailed to his house just for that scene alone.
A trophy just with that line on it.
You can do it, Johnny. Mom's all drunk. And then here's a chicken. You know, it's like all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
When that scene ended, I was literally just like, what the just happened?
So were the kids.
Yeah.
Legitimately.
Hey, anybody want a hamburger? Hamburgers are done.
yeah.
You think Mox hit him in the face on purpose?
Yes.
Absolutely.
100%.
100%.
Yes.
Dude, because they showed him with 100% accuracy hitting people in the nose for the rest of the film.
Yeah.
And even the dad looks like, oh, shit.
I was going to say, like,
he does have that moment.
They alluded
Like
to
I
that
said,
later when he hits the
Mox
mascot, and the
was-
dad's like, oh.
Yeah. Mox was the better quarterback.
He was the better
Hot
throwing
take.
Better
quarterback
accuracy.
for sure.
Hot
take.
Lance was the better quarterback for the coach because he was willing to run the ball.
Yeah.
That was control the clock, run the ball, and we don't know their division. That might have been what it took to
Right.
win games.
He was-
That's
control
true.
the clock and make it happen.
But
Lance was
better.
more controllable.
yes.
Yeah. So
Yeah, game manager.
a game manager. And so what's funny, and it's just talking about the difference.
But he's still got a
is
FSU scholarship.
Vanderbeek's favorite football player was Brett Favre.
That's why he wears 4.
And he wore 4, but then also the character is more of a gunslinger than than Lance was. So it kind of fit perfectly.
Definitely.
I saw in IMDb stuff on Vanderbeek that, and I don't know how good he was or whatever, but he started acting because concussions ended his football career. I'm assuming it means in high school.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he was.
I don't know if he played
Decent.
decent or not. He took snaps from center a little weird. Like he was like elbow deep in that center a few times. Like, just get your wrists under there, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, you don't need
You know,
to have
there was a
your
couple times he
whole-
was
Omaha.
He's just like this, like
Yeah,
under there. I'm
he
like,
didn't need center didn't need a prostate exam, James. Just
Hey, sometimes we enjoy it.
You know,
I had a coach
football
that's
is so
feel a little
overtly
poke.
sexual.
Yes.
wait.
Oh, it is.
It
Sexual?
absolutely is. Absolutely.
Just because we touch butts once in a while?
yeah.
The start of every play, a quarterback, unless it's in the shotgun formation, has the back of his hand on some guy's junk.
Yes, it's true. Can verify.
I literally took I took a
Why the
class
center
in
always
college.
wears a cup.
I took a class in
Not
college. It was
always.
like an English class.
Yeah.
And it was about like the sexualization of things, and football was a big topic.
Oh,
Just saying.
I mean, they did have the lingerie football league for a while anyway.
That was magical.
that didn't even come up.
Other
It
things.
was
going
mainly
on.
the hands on the junk.
Speaking of things coming up here,
Yeah.
this next scene, it to me is the most pointless one in the movie, the health class scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but it's just an opportunity to make dick jokes.
That's literally all it is.
That's why it's in there.
And,
and
like,
introduce Miss
and-
Davis.
Penis, vagina, vagina.
I like dick jokes as much as the next guy. But it's like, what is this purpose of the scene? Is it just to have Billy Bob come in, leave, pass out?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Why
then-
couldn't they have made it a math class?
Well, and to introduce Miss Davis.
And yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
introduce
But
Miss
that's
Davis.
why, because of Miss Davis's eventual
and show that
part-time job.
What's his name? The kid in the front row. Boner, is that one of them?
that one of them?
So he's
Come on.
the one that's
Boner,
in,
right?
and
the
he's
one that's
also in Not Another Teen Movie.
He's the John Cryer Ducky character.
I thought he delivered that line perfectly,
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
He was just that
Perfect.
awkward,
Yeah.
like, he's not very popular, but he probably gets good
Boner?
grades.
That one.
I grew
Is
up
that one of
Amish.
them?
Is Boner one of them?
He grew up on.
Kilmer meets, so after he's passed out and Billy Bob's gotten all sweaty, Kilmer meets him in the nurse's office and says to him, "You're going to play every minute of that game."
Oh, clears the nurse
We
out,
need
by
you.
the way.
Yeah. Oh,
Nurse,
yeah.
get out. Yep.
The nurse doesn't think I should play.
Right. Oh, you're going to play every minute of that game. I think you're my soldier, I think he says. to
Yeah.
him.
Yep.
Like, I think-
William Robert.
William Robert. No, yeah, I loved that too.
Such a
Another
dickhead.
dick punch moment.
Yep, absolutely.
And we come to game number 2. Game number 2, we come in like midway through the game, and this is Mox basically says to Billy Bob, who doesn't look okay, if you're not okay, say something. right? And Billy Bob just kind of pushes past him, goes out there to play, and he lines up. Now Billy Bob's a guard, okay, right guard. He's
Well,
the right
he's
guard.
left guard later in the movie, I believe.
Yeah, he is, but
He
he's
doesn't
right
stay
guard.
on the same side of the ball.
He lines up in the 3-point stance and then just passes out forward into the ground, leaving a wide open hole.
Runs over.
But should have been a flag.
That's what the play should have been blown dead.
Yep. So
Not
the
just a
refs are
flag.
responsible for the knee blow up.
I
Yes.
thought so too, but I think they timed it right because as the ball's snapping, he's falling over. It's not like he fell
wasn't-
over
see, look,
before the ball
I think he
snapped.
moved
It
before.
felt early. You only have to move.
Just the slightest
Well, I
movement.
know you just have the slightest movement, but I think,
Somebody should look into the refs and who's paying them.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what
Kilmer.
I'm saying. Because this dude broke Lance. Well, Lance's knee was already broken. It was
was already
shooting him up.
busted,
It was
yeah.
already all
Yeah.
busted up. But man, this dude came in, and some of the hits in this movie, the slow-mo hits, they were, whoever these stunt guys were, they were rocking.
They were
dude.
going
Yeah.
for it. Yeah.
They're now dead.
Like the actual guy that was the coordinator was
Yeah.
one of the referees, so he was
Oh, okay.
always on the field.
Okay.
But there were a lot of helmet-to-helmet hits.
Oh, yeah.
There was
But that's
spearing
how-
going
that's
on.
the
That's how it was
excitement.
at the time. But at the same time,
There was a dude that jumped over
Yes.
a
Yes.
running
Like a
back.
missile.
Like a
I
missile.
get that it's Texas football, but at the same time, their entire teams were not getting full rides to the SEC either.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
Somebody was not good
Here's the thing.
at some point.
Somebody limped into a position that
Yes.
they
Yeah.
wouldn't have got at another school.
Right.
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 The play should have been
Billy
blown
Bob's
dead.
one of them, because if we're being honest, somebody his size
Why was he not the center?
was not going to be able to move.
He was-
He
no.
couldn't move.
He couldn't.
But they got him running down the field, lead blocking
He's
and
right,
pulls
yeah.
and stuff.
Somehow.
He's defensive tackle, maybe a center.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
He ain't.
Yeah.
All right.
Clog up the
boy.
middle on defense.
Yeah.
Yes,
Plug out
all
the
of
middle.
that. Words.
Okay.
Football.
Omaha.
Omaha.
Yeah, say Omaha every now and then.
Lance is writhing in pain, and they come and take him off the field. Billy Bob is now awake and alert and feels terribly, but Mox
And
has
nobody
to come
was
in.
attending to Billy Bob.
No. Mox has
No,
to come in.
because he's just a guard. No,
I don't care.
Nobody cares.
No.
When was the last time an NFL guard was hawking anything? It's all about the
My
quarterbacks.
brother could play guard, and I wouldn't know. Okay?
Right.
I'd be like, "What do you even do for a job?"
I could sit down at a table
sad.
and look across and see the entire offensive line of the Chicago Bears and just be like, "Yo, that's a big group of people over
Yeah.
there," and not recognize because quarterbacks are the only ones.
No one cares.
Wide receivers to some
Receivers,
extent.
running backs. Yeah.
All right, so Mox
If you're a
has to
Bears
come
fan,
in.
the punter and the kicker too.
true, 'cause they
They're
love
out
them.
there more than anyone else.
Love them down there.
God,
Mox,
it sucks being a Bears fan.
That hurts
so
a lot
much.
over here, guys. I'm just saying.
I'm a Bears fan. I'm telling you, it sucks. And right now, I'm a Cardinals fan for baseball. So
yeah, we had a couple people write in
this is my
saying
favorite thing about sports right now is this movie, because my teams all suck.
we had a couple Cardinals fans write in and say they appreciated you calling for the manager's hat.
Yes, thank you. Fire Ollie
I'm
Monroe.
a Brewers fan,
Get
and
rid
I'm
of him.
like, he needs to go. He's terrible.
He needs to go. John Mozeliak, fire them all. I don't care.
Omaha.
How about
Omaha, Nebraska.
Back to this movie. How about that? Moxon comes in, he hands him the ball. Now all of a sudden, Bud's being real supportive of him.
Oh yeah.
I'm behind
I'm
you.
behind you.
I got your back.
I bet
No,
you are.
don't worry.
Bud.
I'm behind you.
Yeah.
That is the worst thing I ever want to hear out of Bud Kilmer.
Yeah, for real.
Do not be behind me.
Yeah, please.
I'm behind
don't.
you with
Get
the
outta
knife.
It's 17-21 with 1:09 to go. He freaking nails Tweeter on a 40-yard strike down the field. First play. Then they got to clock it because they're running out of time.
Right.
Nails the freaking
Nails the
mascot.
And his dad's like, oh.
He can't get the
Mascot's
play
mocking
coming
him,
in
yeah.
from the sideline because he doesn't know because
doesn't
he's
know
reading
the
some other
signals.
book and not the damn playbook, right?
Right.
Yeah, but to be fair, Slaughterhouse 5 is a great book.
But then,
I get it.
But then, so he pulls out the Philly special. That's how they're going to end up.
Like, forget it. We're gonna do a pass and pass back. You know,
Right.
Like, yeah, we're good.
yes.
with the Philly special. It
How's
was
your
awesome.
arm? Good.
Why not?
Throwback.
And they win the game. The throwback on the throwback from the halfback. Yeah, it was great. And but guys, so after that they get the win. The scene at the hospital was so depressing. When the doctor comes out, Lance is, they're getting checked out, and they got Bud
How's he
Kilmer's
looking
there.
for this season?
And even the dad, they're like, the doctor's trying to explain what's going on. He's like, waves him off. He's like, how long? Right? Like,
Well, remember when
But
Lance
his
first
ride.
goes down,
Yeah.
if we go back to the game, the
Yeah.
dad goes, "Oh, Lord, don't do this to me.
To me.
To me.
to me.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is why I have a job, because of parents like this."
Perfect.
I sucked at football. Don't do this to me. This kid was my chance.
And then the doctor says, I took a ton of scar tissue out of the knee. He shouldn't have even been playing. And then Kilmer goes,
I have no idea. I never
He
said
didn't say anything to me.
yeah.
Mocks and shoots him a look like,
My
Daggers,
God, we're
dude.
going to dick punch you so
The
hard.
doctor's like,
Listen,
Well,
I need a
it's-
conveyor belt full of Chuck Norris's just come past his nuts and each one just go,
Dick punch the shit out of him.
be awesome.
We needed to go to a different Vanderbeek movie and get Cockknocker in here.
Yes, from James Silent Bob Strike Back.
and and doctor's like, year and a half, if ever.
If ever.
yeah.
If ever.
And they're devastated.
Then Allie Larder's like, oh shit.
She's
There
like,
goes
Yeah.
my
legit.
meal
Like,
I'm
ticket.
not
oh,
getting-
no.
Yep.
She legit.
Oh, my God, you're all talking at the same time. Okay. All right. Go ahead. Somebody, one of you. That was 4 people all talking at once.
I was just saying, Allie Larder's meal ticket.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
she's going,
She's like, oh, well, hey, Mox, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
he played 41 seconds.
It was crazy.
But he's a quarterback now.
All she needs is 41 seconds.
Mox
Things
gives
change, Mox.
Darcy a ride home, and they're in the car 10 seconds, and she's changing
Yeah.
her clothes
Yep. Sure. Why not?
in the front seat.
Yep.
And she's like, why does it bother you?
It covers the same as a bathing suit.
He's like, I
Yeah.
can handle it.
He's gonna, yeah. Like that doesn't still get a
all of a
young
sudden-
boy going like,
and all
look
of a
at
sudden
bikinis over there.
All of a sudden, he's Ray Charles, trying to drive and just
You're really not
No,
looking, are you?
he was looking.
he
Well, I just,
wasn't
like-
looking.
he took
There's no-
he took a peek, but then was like straight ahead, blinders on, just
There's no backstory to her, though.
None.
Because she's
No.
like, I need to get out of this town, and Lance was my meal ticket. And it's
You
like,
don't
bull.
need
Like, you have a
backstories for
pretty
whores.
nice house.
What
And
did you just
what'd you say?
You don't need backstories for whores. Whores is whores.
Whores is whores is whores.
She
Was that too much? You're,
no, it's fine.
she
changes-
in defense of the whores
But no,
here.
she
Sorry.
gets all upset, because she's like,
I was a whore, so I kind of defend him a little bit.
she's like, I want to get out of here and I want to better my life. And I'm like, you have a pretty nice house, though.
Yeah.
Like, are your parents beating you?
She's in
Were you
West
adopted?
Canaan, Texas.
You have like abandonment issues.
How many
or,
people live in their hometown still?
she
In this
gets-
room.
But she gets good grades.
I don't.
I don't.
So
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, but-
understand.
But 2 of us are only like 15 miles away.
But
That's far
fine.
enough away.
I'm in the same
I'm in
county,
a different
but
state.
Yeah, it's different state.
I'm in a
Barely.
different state, brother.
I'm in a different state. I grew up in Illinois.
Not my fault. I
2
grew up in a
hours
town.
away.
Did you say Illinois with an E?
Illinois.
Illinois.
I think she did.
Okay.
Yeah, Illinois.
Moving on.
I grew up in Illinois. That's how
too.
I say it.
It's
Yeah,
Illinois.
that's weird.
I want to say
It
this.
is not.
I love
It's Illinois.
Mox's reaction, okay, when Darcy gets out of the car and she leans back in the window and she says, we can pick this up anytime you want.
Yeah.
And she walks away and Mox literally goes, oh, shit.
You don't always
Think
have
about
to.
the treachery of that.
Oh, no,
you
and
would be cheat. You would be stealing your best friend's girlfriend while cheating on your girlfriend, who
Okay.
just so happens to be your best friend's little sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
The worst violation of the bro code outside of maybe banging your friend's mom.
You don't always have to be good, Mox.
Well, and I like at the party earlier,
Yeah.
he looks at his girlfriend and he's like, why don't you ever dress like that?
Like Darcy, right? Yeah. Which is,
if
you
that-
never
if you
say that.
if you really want to piss your girlfriend off, it's like, hey, why don't you dress sexier?
Right. Then this other girl that I'm clearly looking at.
Yeah, you know-
I did like
That was a great line too, though, because that's when she's
Yes.
like, oh, "Darcy's a smart girl. She pulls good grades.
You know what,
It's not the only
fuckstick?
thing she pulls." And I was just like, "That is
Yeah.
perfect."
And I like when Jules said it costs a lot of money to look that cheap.
Yes.
right?
Yep.
That's a
All
good
great
comeback.
stuff.
I love
I think
Amy
Jules
Smart.
is my favorite character in this
Yeah,
movie.
1,000%.
Darcy, when she's leaning into the car, whatever, call it the smolder, whatever, she's got it dialed up to 11. I mean, I'm surprised there wasn't smoke coming out of her
Yeah.
ears. She was
No, she's
laying it on.
gorgeous.
She's laying it on as thick as possible.
Yep.
To the point where he is just like, it was hilarious to me.
I'm having trouble hiding my boner.
Boner, is that one of them?
Thankfully, I have these super baggy 90s
Right.
pants
Oh,
on.
yeah, for real.
He just needed Jinkos to really hide it.
I'll just loop it around my hammer loop.
Cops show up.
Tuck it in my waistband.
Cops show up at the football party, and Tweeter is they're just no regard for the law at all. Okay.
Or authority or older people, because we missed
Just
it in the
before
first
that.
party when he
Also-
hit the guy in the balls because class of 1980 is still hanging out.
That
That's
was
real.
We didn't even touch on that. I'm like, why is someone from class of 1980 coming to these football parties 20 years later?
You know what's funny though is that think about it. In
I
Dazed
get
and
older,
Confused,
they stay the same
exactly.
age.
Well, because Matthew McConaughey is bangable.
At least they're college
Hey,
age at
it's
that
cool.
point. Well, hold on. At least at that point. Oh, no, he's talking about high schoolers in
Yeah,
that
they're
moment,
high
isn't he?
schoolers
Oh,
still.
yeah.
You know
Yeah.
the great thing about high school girls,
right.
the older I get,
they stay the same age.
Yeah.
But because you want to touch Matthew McConaughey, it doesn't get as much of the creep vibe as
I
this
do not.
older man. Well, I would.
You are a liar, okay?
Oh, I am not
Matthew
a liar.
McConaughey, I want to touch Matthew
Yeah.
McConaughey.
Who
Come on.
doesn't?
Who does?
Come on.
All right.
Exactly.
Thank you.
No,
All right.
no, I'm sorry, but no.
Tweeter ends up.
I don't believe you.
They tell him, like, maybe it's time to go home, and he's like, you're right, I'll go home. And he freaking.
I'm gonna leave.
Wait, don't forget one of my favorite lines
Yes,
in the movie.
please.
He's like, well, congratulations. Congratulations for what? Well, for getting to wear such cute mount me hats.
That's right.
Mount me? Well, not right away, but maybe after a couple drinks.
He had a lot of good one-liners.
That's
Yes.
something I could see Bob saying.
For sure. He gets in the cop car and takes. I also don't want to
I'm
bury.
going to jail.
Want to bury the fact.
Yes.
I also don't want to bury the fact that the cops were there looking for Billy Bob after Billy Bob got Lance hurt in the game.
Yeah.
There's like a little throwaway line. It's like, y'all seen Billy Bob around
Billy
here,
Bob?
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Before it all goes down with Tweeter. I'm like, what were they there to do?
Yeah, it's a question. Why are they looking
Beat
for
him to
Billy Bob?
death.
Right. It's kind of crazy. He takes off. Now we cut to Mox, who's just kind of walking the streets of West Canaan and ends up getting a free 6-pack from
Yeah,
a
he
gas
walks
station.
into the bodega and
And what? There's
West Canaan bodega.
There's that big, like, epic country song. I can't even remember what it is right now that was playing in the background while he's going about doing this
Yeah.
stuff. Like, he is the cowboy of the town now.
Right.
Well, what I love is that he goes to Jules' house and he has one beer left, but he still has the 6-pack rings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
So
but
it's like, I just want you to know that I've had 5 other beers
I'm
tonight, and
5
you just
deep.
I have to make sure you know that.
no, he's going to Brown's. He's a smart guy. He's concerned about conservation. He doesn't
what it
want
is.
ducks
That's
getting
right.
stuck.
I haven't
Gotta
had
get home
scissors to
and
cut
cut
this
it
up
apart.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the dolphins,
Exactly.
so I'm carrying it around.
Gonna take a flying leap and say I don't think Mox gave a crap about dolphins
I think
in
he
West
did.
Canaan, Texas. Okay,
No, ducks.
but
Ducks.
or whatever.
Turtles.
The ducks.
Coyotes even.
Coyote.
If I
Yeah.
get a full ride, how are they going to find a helmet to fit my head?
If I could kill 6 coyotes with a 6-pack ring, I would do it. I wouldn't be worried about them getting killed by my beer litter. Personally, I'm saving somebody's pet from getting killed.
Maybe.
At that point.
Bring your pet inside. We've already talked about
talked
this.
about this.
T-Rexes and coyotes are going to try
Right,
to eat your
right.
dog.
Bring your dogs inside at night.
T-Rexes?
All right, that's
T-Rex
right.
eye.
T-Rex.
Lost
T-Rex
World. You had to be there.
I did. I love that movie. I told you I wanted to be there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. All right. Anyway,
I'm
so
stuck in a southern accent now.
while
Thanks,
Mox
James.
is sitting there on the curb drinking his Budweisers, Tweeter pulls up in this cop car, but it's a little bit different than when he just left 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Because he's naked.
Amazing.
And he's got 3 naked chicks.
Sophomores.
Sophomores.
Where did he have the time to find 3 naked women on his way from running
He's
away
a
from the police?
17-year-old man.
They weren't naked when he found them. He threw the one's clothes out the window.
Did he?
But how did he get him off the girl?
That also that. Where-
Percocet.
He is a.
Remember-
No, this is just a trick I want to know how to do.
We're going to find that out in the next practice, seeing how Tweeter got that done.
Because I'm just like, how did this happen so fast? He just left the party. And he just drove past 3 girls and was
You
like,
think Scott Conn couldn't talk
Hop
you
in.
out of your clothes real fast?
that's not what
the
I'm
time.
saying.
I'm just saying.
That's not what I'm saying.
He's got a squad car. Whoop, whoop. People are going to stop. Be like, oh, shit, the cops.
Yeah,
Take your clothes off.
Take your clothes
Get
off. 'Cause
inside.
he did that to Jonathan Mox.
that's true. He did. All right. Maybe that's what happened. He does go to Jules' window, and he's kind of just verbally processing. Well, he doesn't really even say much of anything. Just like, oh, I just don't know. It's just, what's happening, and it's such a trip. And she's like, you want me to come down? He's like, no, I'm just gonna go home and
Go sleep this off.
sleep it. And I'm just like, and that's just the next, and you would just not talk till the next time you saw them. Like, no texting, nothing. That was it.
That was
You
it.
go chuck a rock in a window.
Yep.
Like,
And
what was
that-
the point of that conversation even?
You wouldn't be able to find out for 2 days if you didn't see him till Monday or whatever. Like, that was it. It was a Friday night. The kids played a game, right?
Dude, if I just win a game as a starting quarterback, I am going to my girlfriend's house for more than just throwing rocks. We're going to start throwing
You're going to throw something.
Yeah.
All right. The next day, one of the dads is sitting at the look at the bar at a diner, and the cop comes up and sits next to him.
Wainers at the Alano Club.
That's right. It's like, them boys, man.
Wainers.
When we were kids, we weren't doing all that. I mean, we had a good time, but they're pressing their wainers up against the glass while they're practicing for the Christmas pageant.
My boy's too much for you.
Wainers on the glass.
My wainers on the glass.
No, that ain't right.
And they're going back and forth. He's like, I'm going to have to start maybe doing something. And this scene messed me up. And then it pans back, and Kilmer is sitting behind him in the booth. And he
Are
says,
my boys too much for you?
And the way the cop shrinks back from Bud Kilmer was crazy.
Yep.
Is that accurate?
No, everything's good, bud.
Crazy.
If anybody wants to know how the stuff that went down at Penn State was allowed to just go on for all those years, it's because the cops in a lot of these places are fans of the team, and the team is what drives those cities. And so we're not going to arrest a football. I mean, I never, and we're not even talking on the same level, but still, like, to show an idea, I never once got one of those Saturday schools until I quit playing football, and then I just racked them up.
My grandfather played for Antioch eons ago. Day before homecoming, he ran a shit spreader down Main Street before the parade.
Yeah.
And they knew who'd done it. Mm-hmm. They know where it came from, and it's a thing.
Nothing.
Man,
this cop was just like, no, they're just being boys, and
being boys.
It's fine. I couldn't believe. I love that they put that scene. It was so short, but it communicated so much.
Plus, we got to hear the word Wainers pronounced that way.
That was actually
Wainers.
Wainers. Speaking of Wainers, they play a team of Wainers now, because game number 3, it cuts to mid-game, and they're up 66-3.
Yeah.
In this game, just
Madden,
just crushing
Madden numbers on all pro or on pro level.
Yeah, they're putting Madden numbers up on them.
Mox is really starting to feel it now, and he sees Jules after the game, and the freaking
I want to thank God
reporter comes up to him while they're talking.
I'm
He's
one
talking
man.
to Jules.
I'm just one man. I want to thank God.
I don't know if I could ever be Lance Harbor. I mean, can fill those shoes, but
And Lance is sitting in his hospital bed crying.
Yeah.
I just want to thank God. Johnny Moxon's just one man.
I love that they're showing Amy Smart's face too. Like,
she's like, what
Like, you're
the hell
just
are you talking about?
loving this, aren't you?
Even the reporter was like, "Okay."
Yeah, he's like, his face was priceless. He's like, okay.
He's like,
Thanks a lot, buddy.
Appreciate that. And this is where we see his freaking billboard getting put up at his house
time
and
for
all that.
the art class finally got it done.
If I remember, there were 4 games left.
Took them
when
too many
this movie
games.
started.
Yeah.
So after game
It's five.
it was five. So after game 3, they're putting up his billboard.
Yeah.
2 more games.
Well, only his second game though, right?
Well, he
Yeah,
finished
this is
the
only-
game.
He finished the game.
Finished the game.
This is
Played
his
2.
first full game.
Yep.
And they put up
Okay,
a billboard.
Yep.
And the billboard's up.
Yeah. All right. So
The third
second
game that
full
we've
game.
seen.
Yeah.
Right. Because we saw a full game from Lance, and then we saw the second game he got hurt.
Yeah.
This is the third
Yeah.
one we've seen. And so later on, now we see Darcy asks Mox to come over to her house because her parents are going to be gone. Now, why would
At
she
the
include
gun club
that piece of
After
information?
My
7.
parents are going to be gone until
because she's
well after
open for
midnight.
business.
This
I got to
part,
get out of West Canaan.
This part made me laugh so hard because of not another teen movie.
Yes,
You
absolutely.
haven't seen it.
Yeah.
You haven't seen it, so you don't understand.
I don't understand.
Banana split.
Oh,
They-
yeah.
They did the whipped cream
I don't
bikini,
like
but
those
the other
either.
way.
Got it.
Yes, they did.
I've seen the clip. Chris Evans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I've
Oh,
seen
the
that.
banana up
Yeah.
his butt.
Yes, I've seen that.
Chris Evans, I would touch. Matthew McConaughey, not so much.
Well, your loss.
Okay.
He pep talks himself into being an idiot and going to. He's in like a gas
He has
station
his
with
brother
his little
buy
brother.
condoms for him.
He's trying to buy condoms, and he's like,
He's
"Why
like
should I be
10.
Why should I be good? Yeah,
I'm
he's
always
having,
good.
He's having
Always
an
good.
existential crisis at 17.
Most
Like,
good.
Right.
I don't need to be good.
With his now Muslim little brother.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Do I need the magnums? I don't know.
no, you don't, James. And again,
Maybe for your head.
I don't know
Turn
from
the dryer on anyway.
Thank you. So his ultimate, he's giving himself the pep talk, and his ultimate the clincher that makes him decide to do it is he says that if Allah had the chance to nail Darcy, he would, and that was that's what ultimately tipped him over the scales and said,
Yep.
lays him down on the counter. We're going.
And it gets there.
This is the most iconic scene in the movie. This scene is more famous than the movie itself, I feel like.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
it was at the time crazy. And, Vanderbeek's Riz level is like 1,000 because he comes in and just like, nice house. Right. And she's like, oh, you want a sundae? Like, it was just pretty.
Have fun.
He's like, I'm already hard.
You'll have one.
Yeah,
Just
I
have
thought we
Sorry,
were
you probably have to bleep
I
that
thought we
out.
were going to screw. What is this talk about Sundays?
She says, I'm going to go make a sundae. And then she goes, whipped cream? And he's like, yeah. What would have happened if he said no?
She would have just come out naked.
Yeah, probably.
One of the things that's kind of disturbing is they said that they had to use shaving cream instead of whipped cream because they couldn't get the whipped cream to stick. And I can't help but think how many times did they make this young woman try this first movie ever just be standing there with melting streaks going down her.
Yeah. Yes,
Great
I have no
question.
idea. Somebody somewhere knows the answer to that question, I'm assuming.
She knows.
Allie knows.
Yep, and that guy is now running the division of kids and family entertainment for Paramount. The one that had her do that.
She comes out from around the corner.
Oh my God.
She comes out around the corner. Whipped cream up top and below. Cherries. And
Jubilee.
First of all, super fast and accurate with the whipped cream.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of time she was out, came out, looked
There was a
perfect.
team.
How did he not hear
There
it?
was a team.
Oh, they did. You heard
You
it.
could hear it. It
background.
was like,
I was like, that's a lot of whipped cream for a Sunday or two.
Came out looking perfect. Okay. And walks over. They start making out. And after she went through all that, he turns her
He's like,
down.
I
no,
can't,
you know
no.
what? I can't do this.
You know what, man? Dude,
I'm sorry.
I'm telling you right now, the amount of like moral fortitude that ended up coming through this man to stop that in that moment at 17.
Yep.
Allie Larder.
I'm pretty sure he's probably
Semi-trucks.
gay.
Semi-trucks aren't pulling this situation apart. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
right.
no.
Right.
Yes. But I think what kind of helped is the fact that he picked up that photo right before that went down.
Yep.
And it's
Her and Lance.
Oh,
Her and Lance.
he's in love with Lance.
But it's like you again.
It's got
Things
to be
change.
Best friend's girlfriend.
It's got to be so embarrassing for her
Yes.
to come out like that and then to be shot down.
Well, now I'm stuck in West Canaan forever. None of the QBs want to do me.
And then my wife's like, the worst part is she sits on the couch while she's covered in whipped cream. And
Bare
parents are
butthole
gonna get
again.
home. What is
Butthole on the family couch.
And it wasn't
So
plastic.
later, when the family sits down to watch like some
I gotta
Pixar movie,
waff a
so it's like,
butthole.
what does that stink?
it's kind of whipped cream and kind of
It's got sweet
It's like a
something
nutty
else.
whipped
Sweet-
cream.
like,
It's,
don't sit on the
it's sweet
couch.
but spicy at the same time.
Don't sit on the couch. What are you doing?
Nobody can lay down and just put their head on the couch anymore.
Just keep that in mind when you go over to people's houses and sit on their couches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's probably been buttholes on them.
Naked buttholes on
Yeah.
them. Well,
The worst kind.
Unbleached
That's the
buttholes.
The
worst.
worst kind of buttholes. Naked
Just
buttholes.
brown eye eyelashes winking over all these areas of people's couches.
I'm never going to sit on the couch again. Every time I come over to all your houses, I'm standing up. Okay.
No, I'm good.
Sitting there
I'm
thinking
good.
like,
I don't
whose
want to
asshole
sit.
was
Thank you.
where?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Well, mine was there. All right.
so you get the speckled couch right there.
back at school.
Blended.
That's right.
Never know.
Can't tell. The whole
Never
couch just looks like butthole.
The whole couch is brown.
That's why our parents and grandparents were so keen on that pattern.
Right, right. Chocolate starfish
Concealed
pattern.
buttholes.
Back at school, Wendell is venting the running back to Mox about Kilmer not ever letting him put it in the end zone. Like, Royd's him like a workhorse, but the only time he ever scores is if he breaks it for more than 20 yards.
Yeah.
And then he gives it,
Damn, Mox, I
You know.
thought you knew.
And his mom's doing his recruiting
his
for him.
recruiting
his-
for him and all
calling
that
out
stuff.
people.
Grambling's coming out to see him. But Mox is like, hey, man, I'll get you in the end zone, right? And it was all good. Then Darcy comes back up to him and says, like, tell me how not to be awkward around you. He's like, I don't know. I feel like it's just got to have to be awkward around
You've
you know.
seen
We're just-
naked
We're
stuff.
just closer friends now.
We're just move
Closer
along.
friends.
Yeah.
And hey, we're just friends, so let's kiss in the hallway
On
in
the
front
lips.
of everybody in school and my girlfriend.
Like for a long
Right.
time, too. Not like just a little peck on the cheek. This was full on, like, on the lips.
Let's
and-
make out in
Yeah,
the
basically.
hallway.
after we all just agreed this wasn't going to happen. Right? And you know how schools are. You kiss anybody in front of everyone and everybody sees it. People that aren't at school that day already know what happened.
They knew.
Your girlfriend could have been on vacation and had known.
That's what I'm saying.
She could have been.
But no, she witnessed it.
Everybody.
It's all good.
She witnessed it firsthand.
She did, but she didn't need to. I mean, good God.
No, she would have known immediately.
Right.
Through a carrier pigeon because they didn't have text.
He shows up at her job, tries to talk to her, and she works at like a drive-in or like one of those like hot dog.
Yeah, it was like a drive-in. Yeah.
Like a Sonic.
Car hop.
Sonic car hop place, and he goes up to her window and she's like, "Do you know how she convinced Lance to date her? You mean you haven't seen her whipped cream bikini?"
That's how she got Lance.
He sat and thought for way too long.
Like 10-second pause. No.
Yeah, and he did say it like a question too.
No. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have had to do that though to get Lance. Like, just like
he would have
unzip your top just a smidge. You'll be fine. He's 17.
He would have been better off saying, "Well, everybody has seen it."
That's true.
But as long as he paused, yeah.
That's true.
The shorter list is who hasn't seen.
I mean, not recently.
Billy Bob.
I mean, I heard Lance drew me a picture. This is
but it looked like Chris Evans. It
That's
was
the next
weird.
billboard going up.
and Jules is blowing him off because of the kiss and all this stuff, and he's Mr. Football now. And these kind of scenes in movies are only really purpose is to create tension. This is very frustrating when this could be easily solved if the two characters would just have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, we have to draw this out. Like, are they going to break up? Are they not? Whatever. So she gets on.
Did you go to high school?
Yeah, no, I did.
How many times did you have the conversation?
Well, you just have to have,
0.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like, no, the conversation doesn't happen. You play this game.
That's true. That's true. It's just been so long, I've forgotten, Clint.
Yeah.
I've forgotten. He ends up getting mobbed by the people when she calls him out over the PA system.
Oh
and
my
has to
God! Look
Johnny
who's
Mox.
at my window.
leave. The starting quarterback, y'all.
So this school is pretty
West
small. They
Canaan
have pep rallies. Everybody would have seen him and known who he was.
Right. This is yeah.
Although I did like the one guy with like the smash mouth beard, like tapping on his car at one point.
Yeah.
Max. Like, you look too old, man.
This is weird.
You have a
Made it
windowless
weird.
van, don't you? Get away from the high school hangout now.
So the boys decide screw Kilmer, we're going out tonight, and Mox takes them to the strip club. When I say them, it's Wendell, Billy Bob, and Lance,
And Tweeter.
and Tweeter, and Mox. The other's 5 of them.
Before this, though, was an important part that I don't think you touched on, but they asked, they're in the parking lot, they see Miss Davis, and they're like, how'd she get such a nice car on a teacher's salary?
That's right. While he was giving his
like
interview.
I forgot about
Saline, but
that.
it's like an Aileen because they didn't have the
I don't.
rights
I
to
remember
put
she was driving some
Saline
kind of
on it.
convertible. I don't remember what kind
it's
of
a
car.
Mustang
It was a
Saline.
Mustang.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Custom,
Yeah. So they go into the strip club, and that's the whole point of the scene is for this big reveal that they're drinking, having a good time, but then and the waitress says you're on the house all night,
Even in a strip club. at
Even
West
there.
The
Canaan.
landing strip, no less.
Yes, landing strip.
High
That's
school
what it's
kids.
called. High school kids, right?
Yeah.
And here comes Miss
This is
Davis.
fine.
Miss Davis comes out. The teacher get up and
Sex
everything.
education.
Hold
On
on.
the chalkboard.
Here's the worst part about it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
She has a West Canaan High School yearbook that she is holding in front of her face.
Yeah.
She's not doing anything to hide which school she goes to
Nope.
or what she teaches at.
Nope. This would have been out. This would have been common knowledge by this point.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone would have known.
Absolutely. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, this is a small town.
There's no way.
Like, there's no
She had to
way
drive,
that they
like-
wouldn't have
Yes.
known.
With as douche as those dads are, hey man, you know what your teacher does? Guess what? You'll never guess what I saw last night.
Hey,
Don't tell your
And she's
mom.
like,
Come with
don't
me and go
say
see your
anything.
teacher.
Yeah, don't say anything, guys, right? Where it's our little secret.
That was such a pointless plot point.
Yeah, it was. Miss Davis, I give him
10. I give it a 10. A 10.
Miss Davis, will you go to prom with me?
You go prom with me.
she's for a moment, she's like, oh no. But then she's just chilling, having drinks with him.
She's like, here are my
afterward.
boobies.
Like, it's all good, whatever. But of course, you come to pay the piper. Game 4, they walk out of the place. It's daylight.
Yeah. But the games, I'm like,
It's
all right,
7:30.
12 hours to the game.
I was just
You
gonna
would be
say that.
fine.
Yes.
they would have been fine. They're 17, 18.
Right, like you needed
How is
3
Billy
hours.
Bob
You
still
needed 3
drunk at
hours
game
max.
time?
Think about
Dude's
it.
like 500 pounds.
There's no way.
Nobody,
There's no way.
nobody, tweeter stole a cop car and drove around with sophomores naked in it for how many hours? And he was clearly not going to be suspended from the team. He was
Right.
not arrested. There's no way Bud Kilmer wouldn't have been able to say, boys, sleep it off, be ready to go at game time.
Right.
'Cause everybody knew about it. Everybody. Kilmer
Yeah.
knew about it.
Kilmer knew.
They all knew about it.
I hope you had fun.
It would have
I
made
hope
more
you had
sense
fun.
if it
I hope
was
it was worth it.
If it was right before the game. It would have made it a million times more
Right.
sense.
They might have
They had
played
a
better.
day game.
But what we end up getting is, I mean, they get pantsed by this other team. It's like, come on, guys, suck it up.
Team wasn't that good.
Team wasn't that
Elroy
good.
wasn't that good.
I'm hungover too.
They're not. But when we get the Thunder montage.
Oh, my God. And they're
I-
just
Thunder.
I was like offended
Why?
that they used that song.
Why? It was
in this
awesome.
scene. No, it's not.
It was-
Oh,
that
dude,
is such
the
an
freaking clipboard toss was
Yeah.
iconic.
taking off the helmet
Yes.
while his
I-
face is shaking.
Yes.
I'm
This is
sorry.
where the
I love that.
I love the fact
linebacker
that
comes
this,
over like a missile.
Yes.
I love the fact that this was used too in a moment of flame out,
Yes.
not
Yes.
of rising to the occasion.
Yes. It was awesome. Why would it piss you off so bad?
You're wrong.
You don't
but
even-
tell us why.
I disagree with all of your opinions. It's such a good song. And it
Yeah.
was like,
On such a good movie.
Right.
okay.
Let's be honest. The
You know what?
soundtrack to this movie was
slaps.
fire.
It was
slapped.
awesome soundtrack.
You know what? I'm
Anytime
just
you
gonna
give
leave
me
it.
some
I'm gonna
Dave
leave it.
Grohl on a anything, I am
Yes.
there for it.
I feel like I'm being attacked right now and I'm uncomfortable.
The post game
We'll just
Reamy.
move on.
the post game ream out by Kilmer was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, cry baby Billy Bob.
Another time
Get
for
outta
a
here.
dick punch.
Get out of my face.
I
Get
don't
out
see
of my face.
face in here anymore.
It's because of you. My quarterback's dragging his leg behind him. I was like, dude is acting it out and everything.
Throws the power.
He
eject.
throws the
Jon
power.
Voight's so good,
He's
man.
such a dickhead.
Oh.
God.
Can we,
Can I just? I want to tell you real quick. I had a football coach in high school. His name was Mike Dunn.
Okay.
He was fantastic. Super animated dude. Just kind of like he would always threaten to make you ride the number 8 Express if you didn't get your ass in gear. He told a couple of us at one time, like, and if he wasn't yelling at you, that was a bad thing. Because if he yelled at you, meant he cared.
yeah.
yeah.
Mike Dunn's sister is Nora Dunn,
Oh.
and brother is Kevin Dunn.
Oh, yeah. They're very famous.
Yes.
Wow.
And
That's hilarious.
he was like IHSA Hall of Fame coach.
Wow.
Like just a great dude.
That's awesome.
Crazy, but not Kilmer crazy, right? Like he was crazy about the sport. He saw me smoking a cigarette one time and he's like, Riles, you can't be smoking. And I was like, Coach, I'm not playing football anymore. And he's like, smoke away. Smoke away. Summer school. Because you could smoke at summer school.
No, for sure. I do want to highlight a player during the montage. There, number 40. Well, you only get to know like 5 players on this
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
But number 40 was playing both ways because they showed him lead blocking in the hole for Wendell, and then he also was jumping from linebacker to meet
linebacker,
that
yeah.
dude in the hole and ended up getting
Well, and
blasted
Billy
up
Bob
and
was
stuff.
playing left and right guard. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Billy
was
Bob
playing
was
both
big enough to
ways.
play left.
Throw the rules out the window.
Can we just get 40? Like we should know who 40 is, but Dad chews Mox when he gets home. Also, this is you're blowing, man. This is the opportunity of a lifetime.
Playing football at West Canaan High School might have been the opportunity of your lifetime, but I don't want your life.
That's right.
That was so good.
Iconic.
Guess what? I don't want my parents' life either, so it kind of rung true for me.
Called him out. Dad, quit living through me.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
This is where Kyle comes in with the pig, and we know something's going on with Billy Bob, right? Mm-hmm. And so I don't know how because you don't have people low jacked, you don't have text messages. I don't know how you found him in his truck on the football field shooting trophies.
doesn't
I don't know.
make sense, though.
If you're driving through Antioch,
Right.
right, with the windows open and you hear shotgun and you think your buddy might be like, oh, he's redneck enough, could be him.
Yeah.
You kind of drive towards the
Just
shotgun.
follow-
Yeah, but
follow
this,
the trail.
this is West Canaan. I am sure there are people shooting people with shotguns all over the place.
They
True.
got a gun club.
You know,
Yeah.
legit, like I thought that Billy Bob was going to end up dead at the end of this
Oh,
movie.
for sure.
Yeah.
I thought that was where I was building to. Right?
I thought it was,
Yep.
yeah. This was my first time ever seeing it. I was like, he's going to die.
Yeah, that was crazy. But he ends up, he has an emotional moment here, and he's, talking about like, yeah, man, I remember this. This is when football was, Mox says, this is when football was like, no, man, we were little kids. It wasn't okay what they were, yelling at us all the time and all this.
I remember getting yelled at.
Yeah, Billy Bob got yelled at a lot. Too fat Billy Bob, too slow Billy Bob.
That's right.
Too dumb and slow.
And you look at this point and you're thinking, it's like, this is where Mox jumps on Billy Bob's side. And Mox even probably thought he jumps on his side. It's like, well, F him, dude. What's the difference?
Yeah.
Let's just
Yeah,
quit.
just quit.
But
Who cares? I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't know about you guys. I'm going to get real for a moment. My dad wasn't around when I was growing up.
Yeah.
My football coaches, my basketball coaches, my baseball coaches, I needed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I needed it in a different way. And like I had been in a hospital at one point my junior year, and my football coach lied and said his name was Uncle Matt, and he came and visited me in the hospital.
Yeah.
And the day I quit playing football, he stopped talking to me. My value was only what was on the field.
Yeah.
And that's what Billy Bob is feeling right here.
Yep.
Yeah.
TED Talk
See, and,
that.
like, man, and I don't have this like insight. You know what I mean? Like I watched this and not that kind of lens.
I mean,
No.
So it's very, very interesting to hear.
Yeah, some coaches are that way. They'll be with you no matter what, if you quit a team or not. Some of them, it's just, well, you ain't on a team, you ain't helping me, forget you.
If you think about it too, this is something I said to Laura during this moment, because these kind of moments will make me cry in any sports movie. There are those moments. Hey, Dad, you want to have a catch in Field of Dreams?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, there seems to be one type of movie where men were allowed to talk about their emotions for a long time. And I thought about, like, every major sports movie does have this kind of thing where it's like there is that emotional
that's
moment
true.
in the movie somewhere. And then we get back to testosterone and guns and
more ridiculousness because
Yeah.
he finally convinced him. He goes, all right, well, I need you. So he says, who's going to protect my bony ass?
Yep.
it is kind of nice.
It is. Yeah, it is kind of nice.
But then we get more ridiculous. And Mox picks up a shotgun and hits Kilmer's picture 100 yards
Yeah.
away.
He's just as good with a shotgun as he is with a football, man.
That was insane.
This pullout game
I
is
think
probably good.
I think it was
too.
probably more like 70. I think they were about the 30-yard line.
Back at Mox's house, the cop and another dad are at the front door. You kind of hear them. They're like shaking down Mox's dad before the big game.
He's going to follow the game plan,
You
right?
better make sure.
Makes you
that-
think like that
I
Southern
can assure
Mafia.
you.
Yeah, Southern
it is.
Mafia for
Absolutely is.
There's
Oh,
big
yeah, I
money
can
riding
assure
on
you.
these games.
Mox will be following the game plan.
Brown's the scholarship from Brown comes in the mail, and he's thrilled. Mom is thrilled, hugs him, and Dad has the worst reaction
Dick punch.
you could
Yeah.
possibly.
Oh,
He's like,
yeah.
He's like, I'm really proud about Brown, but are you going to follow the rules in the game?
Yeah, we need to talk about the game. Like, yeah, great. You got into one of the most prestigious schools in the
Your
country.
son just
Ever.
got a full academic scholarship
Exactly.
to
Full
an
ride.
Ivy
Full
League
round.
team.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you right now, and maybe it's because I'm a nerd, that is what I am slapping on the outside. I'm putting a billboard up because I got an academic scholarship son
Honest
to
to God.
an Ivy League school.
And I'm going to dick punch that dad.
Perfect.
Most people are not going on to the NFL, even if they get to college.
Listen, if you want to dick punch him over that, then like fire up, cock both forearms like Henry Cavill did in Mission Impossible. Because in the next scene, Kilmer threatens to ruin his scholarship.
And so this is where I was like, this movie could have turned on a dime into something completely different. Where that very next scene, after he threatens to pull the scholarship,
He's dead.
he's dead. And every football player for the last 30 years is under suspicion for doing it. Like, who's got motive? And they just show, like, class of 1980.
West Cayman,
class of
Texas.
81, 82.
He literally gets in his face after praying. He goes, I don't know about your scholarship. Don't think
I got your grades under review.
And he goes, don't think I can't F with your transcripts. With his transcripts.
Yep.
Well, here's the thing, though. Brown's already got those. He got their scholarship. They've seen the transcripts already.
That's true.
Sorry.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
But if he's screwing with them, he's basically saying that he's going to say that Mox initially
Screwed with
falsified
them. Yeah.
And so this is where I say Bud Kilmer worse than Steven Seagal. This is a child still. 17-year-old.
No, look.
And you're threatening to take it away because you won't win a football game. I'm sorry that you didn't win a state championship 28 of the 30 years because, you're kind of overhyped.
Well, here's what I'll just say it now because Bud Kilmer, I think at the time has kind of flown under the radar, but now in looking back, I think Bud Kilmer might be one of the best villains in the 90s in any movie period. Dude's
No,
like
for sure.
Darth Vader level villainous in this this movie. I mean,
And he does
is there a better
such
villain that you
good
could compare him
job.
well, he does a great job. He's the reason Paul Walker's character gets injured.
Yeah.
He's the reason Billy Bob is.
And he takes
Wendell.
absolutely zero responsibility for any of
responsibility.
it.
Well, and he puts it to you when he's doing the first
Yes.
pep rally. He talks about his
Yeah.
own resume.
Yeah,
He
is,
controls-
he's so full of
He
himself.
controls the police. There's already a statue of him, and he
kicks nurses
still
out.
coaches, all that stuff.
You know, there's a
And
street
it's
named
just-
after him too.
The movie does a
Kilmer
great
Ave.
job of displaying this whole idea of somebody
he's like a god.
somebody that sticks around in a job long enough kind of becomes the bigger than the institution itself. And if power corrupts, then absolute power corrupts absolutely. And this guy has absolute power in this town, and he's totally corrupted at this point.
Joe Paterno.
And he knows it too.
He knows it.
He knows it.
Yes.
Yep.
He can totally do whatever he wants. He literally pulls this kid aside and says, I can ruin your life just because you won't run the football when I want you to. This is what this whole thing comes down
Such
to.
a dickhead.
Yep.
And then he has, oh, go ahead.
No, it's like you literally at this point you're really looking at this like all the way through the movie. There's pieces of it, but it's like he may have had some success as a coach. He is not a good coach. A coach produces a player. He is using these kids up.
Yeah.
Yep.
He doesn't even care that he's putting this injured knee into this college system, and this college system is going to pour all these recruiting dollars and everything into it and get a player that ain't going to play a season.
But that happens all the time. I mean, remember when the whole Kerry Wood, Mark Pryor, and their elbows both blow up?
Yeah.
Yep.
And there was this whole thing about college and high school coaches are like, I don't care. I just need to get enough out of this guy
So
in
I
his
can
junior,
become-
senior years so that I can keep my job. And people keep seeing how many scholarships. And then if I'm at the college level, like, look how many of my guys are going to the pros.
Right.
Like, he
Use
was
him up.
fine here. He was healthy here. It was in
him
the
up.
pros that he got messed up.
All right, let's keep going. He has this moment at Jules' house where he's like, I don't know what to do. I feel like if I play, then he wins. And if I don't, then I'm letting the guys down and all this stuff.
And she's literally just like, it's just a game. And I'm like, yeah, it is.
But it's not. We've already established that this entire town is
Corrupt and
And I
messed up.
And I like
all
that Mox,
about that.
I like that Mox goes, what about the next team? What about Kyle?
Yeah. What about Kyle?
Yeah.
Yep.
What do we just let him keep doing this to the next generation, and the next generation? And so here we get to the final game. And I there's so much about this that I love. The pregame speech, okay? You got 48 minutes for the next 48 years of your life.
Billy Bob ain't gonna make it that long.
That's the first thing you thought of. But 48 years, or no, 48 minutes for the next 48 years of your life. 16 for you, Billy Bob.
That's actually not far off. He did die in 2016,
I
and this
know.
came out in '99.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to make that joke. I'm just saying.
Oh,
yeah.
did he?
He died.
He did.
Yeah.
He
He actually
got
lost
up-
all the weight.
I know,
He got up to
I-
508 pounds, and then he lost all the weight, lost all his acting gigs because he was
That's
the
who he
fat,
was.
funny
Right,
guy.
right.
Yeah.
And then he had like, I don't remember what it was, like
Organ
Kidney
failure.
and organ
failure. Yeah,
kidney
yeah.
and liver.
Well,
Yeah.
damn.
He had gastric bypass and then like 30 surgeries afterwards to like clean up all the excess skin and fascia and all that. So.
And as I'm sitting here watching this pregame speech, and he's giving his big rousing speech to the trip, all I can think about is how he wears his collar like a freaking idiot in every single scene. He's got the polo collar up in the back, but still curved over his jacket. And I just want to
You
smack him in his face.
stupid douchebag.
Dude, that is such a football coach thing, though. Too,
I know.
Isn't it?
Hates him. I hate it. All right. And as they're going out, he grabs Mox and goes, remember, we're a running team, right? We're going to grind the clock down. And so the whole first drive, Wendell carries them all the way down the field. I mean, they run after run after run. They get down near the goal line and they call for the
35 dive.
35. It's like, how about a 25 dive, right? Mox.
Everybody's like, what? Huh? Anybody got a problem with Wendell scoring? Nope. Okay.
And then I love how after they're all celebrating, he goes, keep it up.
asshole.
Kilmer's kind of talking to himself.
And this is where you do like the subtle nut tap instead of the dick punch as
Yeah.
you're walking past him on the way.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little.
Sorry.
They score immediately, like the other team scores immediately.
Yep.
And then
Well, that team was coached by Barry Switzer.
It was.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
That's why they were so good.
Yeah.
They're so good.
The it's 7-7 at this point, and this is when Wendell gets the ball again because again they're just riding him.
Yeah.
And he pops a hammy, and it's one of those bad. Same thing happened to Aaron Jones this season. Dead run, and he's reaching
I
back.
had that happen to me running
Grabbing.
bases, running to third, and it exploded. I knew it was the worst one I ever had.
Yeah,
Usually you just go down, right? I was able to hobble into third, but Wendell, like on a football field, you'd normally just like down, that's
down.
it. But he just like stood up and got hammered.
Just got teed off on him, and he fumbles and they pick up the ball, and it's really quickly 14-7. But even as Wendell's coming off, he goes to the Kilmer says to the trainer, "Make him understand.
Make him understand. Fix him.
Right.
You fix him. Make
I remember
him understand."
correctly, that was another
fix
thing
him
that we
if
used
he'll
to
let
do
me.
Yeah.
in my high school on game day. The running backs and the quarterbacks had to carry a football around with them.
Yeah.
Yep.
And other players would try to, or other people in the hallways could try to knock it out of the hands.
I know for a minute that meatball inside of me was like, well, I understand you had the hammy, but you could have held on to the
hold on to the
football.
ball,
I mean,
man.
come
Right,
on, man. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Barry Switzer out here winning with Jimmy Johnson's guys on this team.
Look, and I have a problem with the amount of celebrating that team is doing on the
yeah.
sidelines because
They're doing
I don't know
so
about
much.
anybody
End
else,
zone.
but when I was in high school, anything was a flag. But at the same time, our coaches were like, "Act like you've been there before."
Right.
here's the
exactly.
thing.
Like I haven't though, coach. Like this is the first time I scored a touchdown in my life. But thank you.
The football in this movie was
This is
pretty
great.
good up until this point of the
this
game.
game-
Because when they scored to make it 14-7,
break
the
dance.
Start
guy
line
freaking
dancing.
Spin-a-rooney
Yes.
like he's Booker
It's
T
breaking.
Yeah.
in the end zone. And then it cuts over to the sideline, and like
they're all just
the
going.
backup center's like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like all up and down, everybody's dancing on the whole team, and I sit back and go, what the hell is going on?
There should have
here?
been a whole friggin' laundromat where the flag's on the field for that.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to be that guy. I'm not that guy, that curmudgeon old man that's like, just
but,
toss the
like,
ball
this
to the
is
ref.
high school
but
ball.
the whole team is like busting it down
Yeah.
on the sideline. It was hilarious.
It's like,
I love
yeah.
it.
It's ridiculous, dude.
Oh, and you had the two guys up in the booth
Yes.
Yeah.
talking about it. Like, look at that guy go. And there ain't no room for this gully or whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
Hully Gully.
Hully Gully up
Hully
there.
Gully.
Those two guys apparently not actors were
No, were
actual
actual, yeah.
high school
I love it.
Radio guys.
radio guys.
They did so good for not being actors.
Lent to the
It's because they
authenticity.
played
that's what they-
themselves.
That's
Yeah.
true.
If I had to play like fat
It's like
and
when I
lazy,
played
I could
myself
get
in
an Oscar.
Bomberman.
14-7. 14-7. They got this is where the football stuff starts to piss me off. There's 90 seconds left on the clock.
And he
he kneels on it.
He kneels on it. Kneel it.
Go take a knee.
You're not a gunslinger.
What are you talking about? Run the ball.
Yes.
So we're gonna kneel on it.
So
Yeah. We're going to kneel on it for 90 seconds.
remember when I hit Tweeter for 40 yards in that game? I came in cold.
I'm not interested in another turnover. Go kneel on the football. Oh, even the crowd was like, brrr.
Well, I mean,
Which
with,
also, you're
should've
booing
been.
high school kids.
I think they're booing the coach
But
in
it's
this
Texas.
instance. But yeah.
It is
It's
Texas.
different in Texas.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
dumber in tech. No.
They're bigger in Texas.
Then go into half. And this is the most eventful halftime of all time, I'm assuming, in West Canaan.
It's probably the longest
school.
halftime too.
It was 3 hours long.
Billy Bob. Billy Bob.
Wendell is on the trainer table about to get an injection for his hamstring, and Mox says, don't do it.
Don't do it, man. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
when you've got joint damage and stuff like that, we can do stuff like that. When you actually
Pop a hammy?
pop a hammy,
Yeah.
Why are they injecting the
there
knee?
isn't an injection.
Right.
Well, that's what I
going
wanted.
to
Like, what are they
fix
even?
this.
Is it
Thank
corticosteroids or like what?
It's a combination of Texas meth and cocaine.
But listen, that's what I was just going to say. If your hamstring goes up like a window shade, you're going to have to shoot some cocaine into the back of my leg.
And even then, the muscle still doesn't attach. The leg doesn't work.
It's
not
still
gonna
torn off.
Yeah.
I'm still going to be like,
I mean, that's the thing. It's like,
You got 3 hamstrings.
I
Just
won't
use the
feel
other
anything.
2.
well, it's like the number of times, like I remember going back to Jay Cutler when he blew his leg up in that NFC Championship game, and everyone was like, "Oh, but he could finish the half out." It's like, yes, once the adrenaline is gone,
Right.
then your pain is there. But the fact of the matter is the structure of the knee,
Right.
doesn't
Is no
work anymore.
longer
Olin Kreutz
valid.
said that he could just see Jay Cutler's whole leg like twitching
Yeah.
in the huddle, trying to hold the human body up on this leg that is missing parts of it.
So he goes, don't do it. Don't do it. You do it and I'm out of here. Then Billy Bob busts into the training room and says, I'll rip your arms off
and beat you to death with him.
to
You don't
Kilmer.
know nothing
And
about
Kilmer's
it.
just like, get out of here.
And then it's after- and then, yeah, you don't know anything about it, and then Lance shows up on his crutches.
I love
do.
I love when
Don't do
Paul
it.
Walker busts in.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And they're all like, and then so he says, you get ready to screw up that scholarship, boy? And he's like, if it keeps that needle out of his leg, well, all right then. He's like, F it, I'm out. And he goes back into the other room.
Well, and the thing is, Mox now has a locker room full of people who just heard Kilmer threaten to take his scholarship away anyway.
Well,
so screw you. He's probably going to Brown to be a lawyer anyway. Now he's like,
what really sets
Kilmer ready for the deposition.
Yeah.
What really sets Kilmer off is Kilmer comes back into the locker room and he says, the only way we're going back out on that field is without you.
Yeah. And then he tries to strangle Mox.
That's where he tries to strangle him.
But that's after everybody else turned around. Like, Peter's like, nah, coach, I'm not
we got a reverse Latrell Sprewell action going on here.
Where the PJ Carlissimo.
Well, this was if PJ had tried to choke Latrell. What happened here?
I think, and James Vanderbeek, I think, did a really good job of showing that fear in his eyes when he came at him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And now you've laid your hands on a student.
Yep.
And you're choking him, and whether probably nothing would have happened to him in this town, right? Let's be honest,
Not in this town.
But the team at least saw it happen, right? Yeah.
The dads would have been like, "Oh, he's having a time of his life," and coached out by Kilmer.
He's getting choked out.
Bust my ass like that 27 years ago.
I wish they would have all these choking about. It cuts to one of the dads going, "Oh man, them kids having the best time."
I remember when he choked me out.
I bet he's choking him out right now.
He used to choke me out on Tuesday.
I remember
wait, what?
Choked me out.
And that's where you have to see, to some extent, this is where there's a scene in Not Another Teen Movie where the coach picks up Chris Evans and picks him up in the air
And he
then cracks him over his knee and then throws him on the ground.
Shut up.
Yes.
I have to see this.
God damn it!
On the scoreboard, there is a running counter
Of Reggie Ray's concussions.
Oh. And if he gets to like a certain number, he's going to die. And so it just keeps ding, ding, ding.
You got one concussion left. It's okay. Coach said I can play bleeding from the ears.
Oh, we got the cat scan joke, too.
Oh,
Scam my cat.
Scam my cat.
I got my cat. I got my cat scanned and I'm good.
And they said you have a human brain and that it works?
My cat's good.
Yeah. So at this point, Kilmer tries to compose himself after this choking.
team.
He's like, well, just forget I just choked this kid. Let's go.
Come on, everybody, let's go.
Let's go.
He goes out in the hallway.
And he says it like 8 more times. He's like, let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
let's
I need him to open the door back up, peek back in, like, come on, guys.
Like Jack Nicholson.
I was for real. We got to go.
Here's Kilmer.
Oh, now it's actually time to go, right?
What happened to his coaching staff?
Where were all the other coaches?
They all just left too?
There's no coaches.
They're gone.
They're like, this guy.
Every high school, the other team, there's 19 coaches
Right.
we see. We never see anybody except the trainer and Kilmer.
I like how the trainer is also just trainer.
Yeah.
Like, trainer,
Right.
come help.
Where
Trainer.
are the other coaches?
Han. Oh, wait, no. Sorry.
Because only he walks away and it cuts back and it's just the players in the
Right.
room.
Yeah.
Right. And now Lance Harbor. Coach.
Puts the hat on in the freaking
It was
crutches.
his calling the whole time.
Lance Harbor stepping up, calling plays. Unsung part of the reason why the Coyotes won a 23rd division championship.
Calling timeouts on defense.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that. They don't call timeouts on defense. Okay.
Referring to Billy Bob when he wants to go in. You want to play defense now?
No,
that's called special teams, dick. What are you talking about? How did you get that wrong? How did you get
Nobody-
punt team? Oh, what, you want to play defense?
Nobody in this football movie caught that.
No.
How did nobody catch that? Go, hey, we need to go in and like dub this over.
Mox, before we get to all that.
Oh, yeah.
Mox's speech. He
rousing.
He goes, Kilmer said 48 minutes for 48 years, but I say F that. I say we play the next 24 minutes for the next 24 minutes, and we leave it all out on the field. There's no room for fear, right? It's such a great speech.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
I thought it was just like he's turning the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like he just became the same douche.
Well, but he's saying,
let's go play for the game. Let's
game.
just go play the game and play like gods.
I mean, is it a very cliched speech? Yeah, coaches get
that's
that
all
the
football
time.
is.
no, but
Exactly.
That's
all football
It still
is.
gave me the
It's cliche. Yeah,
goosebumps.
it is.
and I-
Nothing
cliche.
original since the forward
You know what
pass
would've been-
was invented.
You know what would have been awesome? If during that moment they played Boys of Summer instead, just to get all psyched up.
Yes.
But after Mox Said the
That's
speech.
remember,
I'm
it's
like,
1999. It probably should have been corn.
Go
as soon as
sorry.
Mox gave a speech, I'm like, cue Foo Fighters.
Yeah,
Cue it.
because he goes
Let's
because he
go.
ends it with that would be heroic, right?
And you just got Taylor Hawkins on the drums. R.I.P.
Goes my hero.
If you haven't checked it out, check it out on YouTube. Taylor Hawkins' son Shane Hawkins absolutely killed it on drums at the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
Check it out. All right, so it's the second half, guys, and we don't see much of the second half, but it gets to about where there's about 8 minutes left to go in the game, and the other team's still up 17-7 with about 8 minutes to go. And Lance Harbor says, we're going to run the freaking oop-de-oop. Oop-de-oop. Which they've never practiced.
Never.
They're going to go to a formation they've never run a play out of in practice,
And
not
then what?
once.
Billy Bob's like, oh, me running down the.
That's not even. That's not
That's not it.
Here's
Oh.
the other thing that's really great about the oop de oop. First of all, you have the idiot that counts. I was surprised he had 5 fingers.
Okay,
to be
that
able
was the most cringy part of the.
to count.
How many receivers is that?
Because he seemed like the kind of guy that had a shop accident at some point.
Like they've never seen
definitely.
5 wide.
He would have needed 2.
Not in Kilmer's offense.
This is the most laughable part of the movie for me because the whole thing with the oop-de-oop is, oh my gosh, they've got 5 wide receivers out there. The announcer's like, look at all them receivers. The coaches on the other sideline are like, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
The players
And now
are
the players are all
confused.
doing their dances going like, what is going on here?
What's going on?
Never
And then
mind
you
that.
get the guy in the stand going, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 receivers.
Never mind that. Like Purdue had been running 5 wide
Yes.
receivers for 8 years by that
That's what I'm
point.
saying.
Air Force, all these people were running it.
Unheard of.
And then they say they're
Warren
going to
Moon had been
overload
running
them.
oop-de-oop in the NFL.
They're going to overload him on the one side and
Yeah.
put Tweeter one-on-one on the other side. That lasts for one play, and suddenly he's like the slot on the other side. And it's like, what just happened here?
They nailed the football pretty much the whole movie, and then to just
They threw it out the window
mail
in
it
the
in
last
at
game.
the end here was terrible.
Not only that, on that last drive, not that, I think it was this drive where they obviously got their shots out of sequence because it was 17-7, but you see him throwing a ball downfield and it's 14-7 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I
Oh, there was
noticed
a couple
that.
times that
I was
happened.
wondering if anyone else noticed that.
Yeah.
I also like there was the one play somewhere in this game. Well, I guess it was maybe the next one because there was 38 seconds left. They ran a play. Tweeter couldn't get out of bounds.
Well, that's coming up. Don't worry, I'll get there yet.
All right.
But at this point, so they're able to get another score with the oop-de-oop. Okay, so now it's 17-14.
Oop-de-oop.
Okay.
40 points a game.
And they've got to get a stop. This drove me crazy. They get a stop. The clock is stopped. It's 4th down for the other team. There's 40 seconds, and he goes, they're punting me. If we don't block this punt, it's over.
Coach Lance, put me in.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
What do you mean? It's 40 seconds left. What kind of punt play takes 40 seconds?
Well,
What
we are
happened?
about to find out that one of these plays takes 20 seconds before they clock it.
But that's what I'm saying. Because a punt play, you can run up maybe 10 seconds off a clock on a punt play.
Not only that, what high school punter's going to boom a 70-yard punt?
Hey, man.
There's no
This
way.
thing's going to
I used to have
shank
a leg.
16 yards.
Right. I'm just saying.
Omaha.
The football guys have got to be like, oh, if we don't block it, the game's over.
Right.
You sure about that?
You still got time on the clock.
Right now, she's you listening to car talk.
And you got the oop-de-oop.
So then he gets, but that's the thing. If we don't block this, and then he's like, Coach Lance, put me in.
We'll block,
We'll block it.
I'm like, Billy Bob's not blocking.
Billy Bob, you want to
nothing.
play defense now? No, special teams.
I mean, Billy
Put
Bob
me
kind
in.
of.
We'll block it.
Billy Bob's not blocking. You know how fast you got to be to block a punt?
Well,
No,
but the thing
he's not
is, he
blocking.
opens the wedge, and then
Right.
Tweeter comes running
But
in.
he says he's going to block it when he goes
No,
in
he
there.
says we'll block.
We'll
it.
block
So
it.
we'll block it. Okay. Tweeter runs in. Tweeter's
knew.
playing special teams, I guess. You throw everybody in there when the game's on the line. Tweeter runs in.
Who
gets the
doesn't
block.
play special teams, though, in high school, honestly?
Right. But this block punt,
Water
punt,
boy.
I did.
this block punt took 13
Omaha.
seconds.
Omaha.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because after the block punt, there's 27 seconds left on the
Right.
clock.
Can I just tell you, though, that I felt it in my forearms.
Yeah.
The pain that could have inflicted coming, blocking that punt.
I'm not trying to be Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, but probably my best play I ever made was a block punt my junior year, and that hurt like crazy.
It
What
hurts.
What is your motivation to do it again? right? It's like sometimes you take it right into the gut.
Oh, I know, dude.
Sometimes you take it right up here,
Just
right
saying.
under the helmet. Yeah, no.
Sometimes
I'm saying
right up the face mask.
That ball leaves that foot going pretty fast.
Yeah, it does. I'll block a punt over that mountain.
And you're catching the tail end of it, not the side of it either.
Yeah.
Right. If it's end over end,
it's a point.
Yeah,
exactly.
It always is a point. Yeah.
So 27 seconds left, and Mox shows an arm, and this is an NFL throw. He hits the out route. That's like a 40-yard throw, even though it's a 10-yard gain.
Tweeter, get the hell out of bounds.
You got to get out of bounds.
He doesn't get out of bounds, though.
You got to get out of bounds. So we got to run up and clock it. And again, he's got a thing about nailing mascots with the ball.
But it goes from 27 seconds all the way down to 7, I believe.
Yes, it does. 20 seconds on the clock play.
20 seconds
It's a
on a clock
slow-mo
play.
play.
Get down the field.
Slow-mo.
Like nobody knew to get to the ball and get down the field. Because it doesn't matter if the defense is set or not. If the offense is there, the ball is there.
Yeah.
You snap. It's offsides on them. You get to go anyway.
Right, exactly. And so now they've got one play, 7 seconds, which from that close to the end zone, you can run 2 plays if you do it quick. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's enough
If the
time for
passes,
2.
you drop it.
But no, they call the hook and ladder. Now we glossed over this, but earlier in the movie in practice, they tried to run the hook and ladder.
Yep.
And he's like, this is a play where I run down the field, act like I'm lost. And he's like, you just catch the ball. Like, oh, look, there's a ball. Here, I'm going to catch it.
Tweeter's like, oh, a ball. I'm going to catch it.
Right. The hook and ladder.
We also forgot that was the same practice where Tweeter looks at his junk and says, what the fuck is that? And that was right after Mox asked him. He's talking about the whole panty droppers thing and the Percocet and all that. And then he goes, Tweeter, you think you're going to like prison? I'm like, yeah.
I appreciated that scene because what I thought is like, is this movie, it plays with glorifying certain things.
Yes. Yeah.
And so you're like, are we supposed to like Tweeter if he's popping Percocets into girls' drinks?
Right, like he's literally just drugging women to get in their pants.
That's a Darren Sharper kind of a thing that we're just not cool with with him Cosbying these girls.
Yeah. That was the Cosby special he mixed up.
I'm saying? So I appreciated that the movie made a point to go, you gonna like prison?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And also to another repercussion for his behavior,
His
he
herpes.
looks into his pants
herpes.
and he goes, what the what is that? Right? So I
Herpes is
appreciated
forever.
that the movie at least was like, here are some repercussions for this horrible person that everybody likes Tweeter.
Don't be a
He's
dickhead.
humorous.
That's why they like him, because he's humorous.
Yeah.
You look like and you laugh at his life.
But you
like,
have genital warts now.
Right, exactly. All right, so they're calling the hook and ladder, which is basically Tweeter runs like an 10-yard in, catches the ball. Trailing behind him is Billy Bob, who he would then is supposed to ladder. This is how it's supposed to go. Lateral it to Billy Bob, who you would
now a
think
left guard.
would catch it on a dead run and keep running. That's how it's supposed to go.
But the thing that drives me nuts, the first thing that drives me nuts.
Yeah.
The
play
signal
call.
for the hook and ladder.
Just showed
ladder.
everybody
And Mox is
exactly
like-
what you're doing.
Mox is like,
It cuts to the other team.
That was the only sign Mox knew.
I needed the coach on the other team go, I think they're on a hook and ladder.
Yeah, because it was Barry Switzer over there.
I think they're going fishing after this.
I don't know what the call is. We had all their signs, I thought.
Is that a Blaine's Farm and Fleet shopping list? We need hooks and ladders.
On a hook, and then we're climbing upstairs. Yeah, so they call the hook and ladder. Tweeter runs the end, turns around with both of his hands extended like this. You know.
So let's talk about a hook. You are supposed to drive off that ball as hard as you can, get the DB to flip his hips
So that he's running.
getting ready to go down the field. You cut back, and basically, as you turn, that ball is
Gotta
supposed
be
to
there.
be there. Not.
Yeah.
The diamond showed him
Guess what? Play is busted at this point, and you need to throw it somewhere else because you have 7 seconds on the clock.
Right.
You need to now throw that ball out of bounds.
Tweeter's out there, Diamond Dallas paging it.
He's like about to hit the diamond cutter out here, right? He gets it, and as soon as he gets the ball, he gets nailed.
Because-
And so
Because we let the play,
we let the play develop.
Go
Yeah.
do
let the play develop instead of getting the ball there.
Right.
Right.
The ball is he kind of tries to ladder up, but he gets hit at the same time. This ball hangs in the air long enough for all 11 defenders to get there
I
to
thought Billy
intercept
Bob
it.
was going to fair catch this thing. Billy Bob should have just been doing one of these, like fair catch.
The fact that the mic didn't come through and take that ball down the numbers is unbelievable.
It was up there forever.
It was.
If I was a tight end or a fullback on that team, I'd be like, I'm getting this ball out of the air and getting it towards the sidelines. What is going on here?
Right. But then he catches it, and they're not rallying to the ball because he even stands there for a moment. I'm like, where is literally any
Anyone.
defender on this?
And then magically, there's a bunch of them coming at him.
I needed the wide shot of all 11 of them on the ground somehow. Like, what is
Well,
happening?
3 of them fell over Tweeter when he caught the ball.
That's true.
I am going to go in there and I am going to hit Billy Bob in his stupid dome as hard as I can as a defender and dislodge his cerebral cortex and just leave him in a pool at the bottom of the field. There's no way. Look.
Who says football's a violent sport?
There's no way that a man that
I've never
big
said that.
from a standstill gets the momentum to push all these people down. He's going down. Someone's taking a knee out. We've seen people NFL style launch themselves over the line.
Right, like LeVar Arrington over here. Right? Yeah.
In this game.
In this
game. We saw their dance moves. There's no way that somebody couldn't break dance his feet out from underneath them.
All right, so Billy Bob catches the ball.
So many feelings.
He runs in. He carries 3 guys over the goal line.
Sure, of course he does.
And,
he was contractually obligated to do that.
And then
meanwhile, he's got that peanut butter and bacon grease pumping through his arteries, and he's still able to carry everybody. I don't think so.
And then we get the voiceover from Mox, the Vanderbeek voiceover. I never played football again.
Yeah, you did.
Isn't there playoffs?
Playoffs.
I just hope we can win a game.
That's why you won this game. It's so that you could play some more.
Play to win the game. Yeah. Well, you did. Playoffs. Get it. Yeah. Tweeter drinks beer because, well, Tweeter drinks beer. Blah, blah, blah.
Billy Bob cries. He's a bit of a crier.
Mox! Amy Smart running up to him, thinking, what are you talking about? He's celebrating with his teammates. Settle down.
Yeah.
He ain't going to Disneyland yet.
I did see something this time I never saw in the past.
That's the end of the movie.
Bud Kilmer walking with a box in the background. I had never seen that before.
Yeah, they had him in his office packing up some things.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's give this movie some awards.
Let's do it.
All right.
My God.
One more division championship.
I made it to the end, y'all. I'm so happy. Omaha.
God, I'm so sweaty after this one. It's like, what the just happened here?
I'm also a little sweaty.
Speaking of sweatiness, as awesome as the movie was, imagine if Arnold Schwarzenegger had been in this.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's who he would be. And I'd listen, okay? Because listen up, people. Everything that you have done to this point means nothing. All of those tour-a-days in the heat, they mean nothing. All those games we won, they mean nothing. If you don't win tonight, no district title, no shot at state. This game is 48 minutes for the next 48 years of your life. Okay, let's break it down. Let's go now. Do it.
He would have popped Vanderbeek's giant head off his body on accident when he went to choke him.
No, what I thought about, what if Arnold was Vanderbeek? What if he was Mox?
The helmet wouldn't fit. It's like as big as Mox's
he'd throw
head
the
is.
ball at his dad's nose and blow his dad's head clean off.
Right through the back of his head like a shotgun.
Could you imagine, though, if Arnold tried to play quarterback, he would look ridiculous. He just stands up.
It wouldn't work. He wouldn't be able to throw.
He's a little, my pectorals are in the way. We have to run every play. Because I can't get my arm around to throw the ball.
Probably means you could knock the ball out then pretty easily.
He could be Mr. Davis.
Bring it in.
There you go.
He could have been the stripper.
Listen.
Got it bad.
That's right. Josh Aglin playing along with us goes, all I need is Arnold as one of the football players. I just need him to burst in the room at the end when they're about to shoot up Wendell with the juice and scream, put the needle down now.
Yeah.
Be awesome. Why is Arnold Schwarzenegger on our team all of a sudden? That is one person.
I've literally been here the whole time. I never get any plays.
That's right.
He's
number 40.
exchange student.
He's number 40.
He's number 40.
He's got one of the old leather helmets on.
Cody Avery back again for the first time since Tropic Thunder says, look, if Arnold played Tweeter, I don't know why, but that just seems hilarious to me.
I thought about that one too.
It'd be like a rehash from Terminator seeing naked Arnold stealing a cop car with a bunch of naked chicks. I need your clothes, your boots, and your cop car. She
your little
broke my
Mount Me
heart.
hat.
Yeah, what if he was the cat? What if he was the cop with the Mount Me hat?
It's a very nice Mount Me hat you have.
He was the old football player from the 80 team. And he breaks his bat.
Yeah,
Just sitting there, just Arnold
his arms.
smoking a J.
That's right. Jake Haynes, the first timer playing along with us here. Jake, I always think of Jake. I need my awards, Jake. No one's seen Training Day. Okay.
Nope.
Okay.
At this point, the name Jake from State Farm.
Yeah,
that's just
it.
all it is now.
I was trying to go a
From
different
State Farm.
direction.
I get it, but it doesn't land anymore.
Okay, so this is what Jake said. This was a little harder because I think it would be hilarious to have Arnold replace the sex ed teacher just to
That's
hear
what
him
I said.
say penis, 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 vagina, vagina.
Let me tell you something. Penis.
That's right. And the wangers on the glass.
Winers.
However, I would feel that Arnold would be best utilized as tweeter because of all the one-liners. Yeah, he's great at doing the one-liner.
Tweeter was too short to be a wide
She broke my heart, so I broke her jaw.
Not in high school, though.
Yeah, it's always I guess
This is a big deal, though, guys, because this guy has been part of our community at BMR for a long time, but he's never done awards before. So Johnny Golab, Ducky Boy himself, is here. Yes.
Wow.
And
What up?
he went Billy Bob for Arnold. He goes, I assume Billy Bob.
Dude, every punt would get blocked.
I
would
love
never
that
get his
dog.
bell wrong.
No. Okay, here we go. Sorry. He goes, Billy Bob, I assume would be the popular pick here, but I'm going with Paul Walker's Lance Harbor. Then we truly understand why Mr. Defund the Snake Police, Jon Voight, there's such a hard-on for him. Although with Arnold's knees, he'd still be in the game if Lance wouldn't have gotten hurt.
Yeah,
If it-
never.
No,
Arnold.
that's he's
true.
got
I don't
Terminator, Titanium.
Guy would've broke his
knees, whatever
shoulder,
they make
separated
them.
his shoulder on his
Terminators, I don't
knee.
know. Yeah, right.
I think we've just proven yet again that Arnold always makes a movie better,
Always.
even Varsity Blues.
Amen.
Even though he would have been way too old to be a high schooler, no one would have cared.
No,
Ron Lester was 28.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
Class of 1980 out there at the party. Arnold would have been fine.
Let's give it some awards, and we're going to start with the most prestigious award we give out, the Will Patton Award for Intensity, which we give out to the actor that not necessarily was the best actor, but who was just all in, sold out for their part, going full go the whole time with the most intensity. Let's go.
You want a war? I'll give you a war!
I don't want them to gain
football
another
quote.
yard.
You blitz all night! If they cross the line of scrimmage, I'm gonna take every last one of you out. You make sure they remember forever the night they played the Titans.
What are you doing with a gun in space?
All right.
Clearly getting ready to shoot somebody.
Oh, I'm so happy you added a.
Yes.
What are you doing with a gun in space? I swear, if I'm not on
No,
that
you're
episode,
on. I already
James,
told you
I
to be
will-
on Armageddon. It's
Also,
gonna happen.
Twister.
Yes.
If we do that one.
Yes.
Is that if it qualifies? I don't know if it does.
I
Patrick,
will
we can make it
never
qualify.
talk to
For
you again.
GMR, we'll do that. Patrick, who's your nominee for the Will Patton Award?
Jon Voight.
Jon Voight, Bud Kilmer.
I mean,
Dude, did he stop sweating at once of the whole movie?
dude, I'm telling you right now, Laura asked at one point, she was like, I don't know, is it really the right role for him? He doesn't really strike me as a sports guy. And I'm like, I think in the grand scheme, that's probably true, but he nailed this.
He was in.
And he was intense the entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
I almost gave it to Vanderbeek just because of the part where he was taking the helmet off and his
Yeah,
face was
that
shaking. I
part
mean, that was
was
so
so
intense.
Yes.
And then even the fire, the
Yeah.
pigskin, I was almost giving it to him
Yes.
too. But I think throughout the whole movie,
Yeah. I hear you.
Bud Kilmer.
Old man Eglin said, I think the obvious answer is none other than Coach Bud Kilmer. He ain't got time for Mox's BS, oop-de-oop option play, or cops doing their job. Not on his watch.
Or, cops
Or
doing their
nurses.
job.
Or nurse.
Medical personnel.
Doesn't matter. Steph.
Absolutely, Coach Bud Kilmer.
All right.
Yeah,
Jon Voight.
1000%. He did such a good job. I
awesome.
hated him, which means that he did a great job.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cody said, "Look, Jon Voight. He was intense as an a-hole football coach, and if you swapped him out for Will Patton, it would play out the exact same way." Yeah, I would like to see Will play an evil football coach. He played a good football coach.
Yeah.
And remember the Titans.
I think Bud Kilmer drove a LeBaron.
Yeah, probably. Look, I'm going Jon Voight too. I think this is one of the most obvious calls of all time for Will Patton here. The man, this is like a poster child Will Patton performance besides a Will Patton performance. Yeah,
For sure.
And he was, whether he knew anything about football, he obviously researched it, was fully in it because he was doing very little minor details that people that have lived this lifestyle would only know. And so for that, I'm going Jon Voight all the way for this one. Jake says, I have to give my Will Patton to Jon Voight as the coach in this film. He is definitely intense and was one of the few people that I felt was true to life. And it was just kind of basically, yeah, Jake, I agree with you 100%. Who you got over here, Mueller?
I mean, we watch these movies and sometimes we don't have options, right?
Right.
We're kind of searching for this one. Well, I think we had a few options in here.
Sure.
I would have gone with Vanderbeek could, potentially be one. His dad, Mr. Duffy.
Oh, yeah.
But ultimately, Baby Bart, there's only one choice.
Okay.
Jon Voight. Okay.
And we're going to defund the snake police. Okay? I love it. Clint, who you got over there for Will Patton, bud?
Generally speaking, I don't like you guys, but you bring up a lot of good points here, and it's got to be Jon Voight. It has to, 100%.
Yes.
Nothing can unite people that don't like each other quite like hatred of a single person. So.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
So we do have one dissenting vote here.
That doesn't count.
Johnny Golab says, look, I'm tempted to take the easy route here with Jon Voight. However, and at least he acknowledges he's just doing this in an effort to reduce redundancy.
As a loser.
This is the reason why we haven't let him put his votes in before.
In an effort to reduce redundancy, I'll nominate Scott Kahn as Bob Hauser, as Tweeter as Bob Hauser.
Fair enough.
For a brief moment, I fully believed I was watching the Netflix documentary Beers and Babes, The Manimal Files.
For the record,
I retract my
Percocet in drinks.
Yeah.
That's true. We got to make sure there's important
Distinction. Yeah,
lines and
there's a
distinctions
distinction.
here. But that means that running away here, Jon Voight is going to win the Will Patton Award.
Yep.
Nice. As we move on to an award that's not nearly as prestigious. It's an award that we give out to whoever the worst actor is in the movie, named after the worst actor of all time, Mr. Steven Seagal. It's the Trash Can Full of Dirt Award.
Trash can, oh trash can, it's a trash can full of dirt, yeah.
Love never dies, neither do they. Love is eternal.
That is a long time. All right, guys. This was a hard one, I think, to pull a trash can for, but I think there was a couple good options. I don't think there was we've had some movies where there's no one, I feel like.
Oh, there was somebody that stood out.
But, Goalie, you get the first crack
Richard
at it here.
Lineback.
Which one?
Richard Lineback.
Who did he play?
That's Harbor's dad.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lance Harbor's dad. Yeah. I mean, I know that his character was written to be like the human version of an anal wart. So maybe it's not all on him, but I hate that guy so much. I don't like him in anything I see him in. He's always over the top. I mean, honestly, I don't think he's not that kind of actor. But for the record, Bud Kilmer, if we gave it to characters, human trash can.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. For sure. For sure. Look, Eglin goes, I really wanted to give this to Vanderbeek, but his speech at the end always gets me hyped. See, thank you. I'm going to take a page out of the Holy Book of Bob and give it to the kid, Joe Pickler, as Kyle Moxon.
Oh, come on.
To be,
no.
That kid was awesome.
fair.
He was great.
He said
Assalamu
nobody
alaikum, my
was
brother.
flat out. So that's who Josh is going with, man. Yeah. Hey, he's planting his flag, and I respect that.
I mean,
are you going with Kyle too?
no.
Oh, all right.
I honestly am leaning towards Paul Walker.
What?
I know.
But he had a dream, and everyone was like,
Listen, I'm sorry, but
Because he didn't have Vin Diesel carrying him out.
Paul Walker has never really done it for me in anything.
Hold on. I'm starting to learn a lot about you. You don't like Matthew McConaughey, and you don't like Paul Walker?
I didn't say I didn't like them.
Remember, she said she likes small jazz hands.
I wouldn't touch them.
And those are
I like little jazz hands.
Big hands.
Fair enough. Okay.
Little baby jazz hands.
All right. I'm sorry. That's respect.
But you know what?
Paul Walker, I don't know. He doesn't bring the intensity. He doesn't bring it to the character. I didn't feel it, and I feel like that in a lot of his roles, but also moment of silence because respect.
Yeah, respect to Paul. For sure.
He's dead. He's not listening.
Wow.
I mean, it's true, but
did you have okay?
His facts are going to get.
Factually
I also kind of forgot how little he's actually in this movie.
He's not in it much at all.
He's not in it much.
So for the trash can, Cody went Amy Smart.
No, wrong. Absolutely incorrect.
She didn't really have much to do, and it really didn't seem to fit in with everybody else in this movie.
That was the point.
I don't like that she played the character the way it was supposed to be played.
She doesn't like football.
Yeah,
That's why
In a
she's
town
with
full of
Mox.
football.
right.
Because he doesn't like football.
Let me tell you right now,
either.
that's the chick I was going after in high school.
Was the Jules.
Yeah.
All right.
The jewels.
All right.
Jules the Jules.
I'm
The one that
going.
can think.
Look,
Oh, shocker.
This girl was a terrible actress. And I know that's not why she was cast, but Tony Perensky, who played Miss Davis, was awful in her line delivery in almost everything, and she was there for a very specific reason. She was cast
Because
for
she
a
was
very
willing?
specific reason.
Yeah.
She was cast for two reasons.
For two reasons.
Two reasons.
But one of them was not her acting ability, and
Who
she
cares?
was terrible
But she
in this.
killed it for what she was there for.
Maybe.
Served her purpose.
I don't know. She's like a Paul Walker and Matthew McConaughey to me, I guess. Jake says,
If either of you are listening,
Or like my Jennifer Garner.
please don't take it personally.
That's right.
Matthew McConaughey, I really like you in a lot of stuff.
I guess she just thinks you're disgusting. That's
Yeah.
all that matters.
That's all. You seem like you would
you
taste
just
bad.
repulse her, but she
seem-
likes you.
You seem greasy.
He probably tastes like cannabis and hacky sacks.
He looks
Let's be
like
honest.
Bottom of a
Tastes bad.
Burger King ashtray
he
from
looks,
the 80s.
yeah, he looks like he'd be sticky.
Oh my
Like if
god!
you touch him, he'd be sticky.
He probably smells like the Lincoln leather seat.
I mean,
Jake says Jake gave Vanderbeek the trash can. He goes all four of them picked different people, so we got to vote for Vanderbeek because good lord, his acting is horrible, and as the main character in the film, he still could be replaced by a trash can, and it wouldn't change the film much.
Trash cans
Trash can
don't
can't fire a freaking
I-
pigskin.
Pigskin.
Trash can ain't throwing
sorry,
a
trash
50-yard
can.
frozen rope to the ref and killing his gut.
I like McConaughey better than Vanderbeek. What does that mean?
Vanderbeek.
This made me want to watch some Dawson's Creek. I don't know what to tell you. Dude.
Vanderbeek
don't
looks
wanna
a
wait.
step away from that kid in the mask. Do you know what I'm talking
Mostly
about?
for Joey, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what is it about Vanderbeek being in shows where teachers are hanging out and possibly banging
I don't know.
students?
He goes, I will give an honorable mention to the kid that plays his brother, though, because he literally doesn't add anything to the movie. It's the two people took a shot at Kyle.
What?
Come
But we
on.
have,
Kyle was hilarious.
who did you vote for? I already forgot.
I don't know that.
You went Joe
Oh
Harper.
yeah, Joe Harper. Richard
Harper.
Lineback.
And you went with
She went with them too.
I went with no.
Oh no, she went.
Paul Walker.
It's like, wait a minute, no.
And then we got to vote. We got to vote
You
here
ain't cheating, you ain't
for
trying.
Pickler and a vote for Amy Smart and a vote for Vanderbeek. So 5 votes in, and I vote for Miss Davis.
You went for
and
Miss Davis.
and no one's repeated themselves. 6 votes in, and no one's repeated themselves yet. So we throw it over to you. Who's your vote
Yeah,
for?
and I think that just
Mueller.
kind of gives to the idea that's really hard to pick this movie. There's nobody that stood out as a trash can that, per se. But there is one to me that just irritated the hell out of me, was terrible, and that's Richard Linebacker or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard, Joe Harbor.
Oh, Joe. So it's a second
Yeah,
vote for.
we're giving him a
He had
second one.
an almost football last name, and he sucked.
Oh my gosh. Jonathan Golab goes, sorry, Dino lovers and Duffy defenders, but Thomas F. is as bad as an actor as he is a father in this movie.
Ouch.
Patrick almost did a Kilmer and threw his headset across the room over here. Yeah, Thomas F. Duffy catching strays from Golab out here with a
That's
unexpected
Golab's second
vote.
stray in this one.
Clint, unless you're going to tie it up here with somebody else, who are you going with for the trash can?
No, I was going to go with the group of dads talking about how they live their life. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that kind of catches.
So we're going with Lance Harbor's dad?
Yeah. And
Wow.
I was just thinking in general, like the guy cares more about like his kids laying there new, busted up and shit. How could this happen to me? It's
Yeah.
like, what a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He was like the
picking you, and I'm
anti-Will
sorry.
Patton.
I've, like, stepped on
Like,
you
he was
47
super intense, but in all the wrong ways.
I'm just like
Oh,
spreading.
that's all good.
I wanted somebody to like give this guy a shot of like Haldol just to calm him
Yeah.
down a little bit. Like,
Yeah,
shut
something.
the hell up.
Well, that means it's going to be a win. What's the actor's name again? Joe Harbor's dad? Do we know?
Richard
Richard
Punch or
Linebacker.
something.
Richard
Lineback.
Fishman and Sman. All right, he wins.
I'm not gonna work here for much longer.
Not gonna work here anymore. Anyway.
Dickie Lineback.
All right, the next award we give out is for someone in a small role who didn't get the credit, but really with their performance carried the movie, and the movie was made better because they were in it. It's the Steve James Unsung Hero Award.
You know, every place you go, there's always someone who thinks he's a badass, right? Then there are those few who are. Are you some kind of a badass karate boy?
All right, Patrick, you're going to kick us off here. Who's the unsung hero of this movie?
So y'all didn't go to high school with me, and so you didn't know that I kind of had this reputation for liking the older women.
No, I knew that after the fact.
Well, you probably
yeah.
knew that after the fact, yeah. And now, I mean, Laura and I are the same age, but now it's because I'm older too. But Tony Perensky as Miss Davis. Yep.
It's a tan.
It's a tan.
It's a tan.
A fucking tan. You go to prom with me, Davis.
I respect it, man. I respect it. Eglin.
Sorry, this movie brought the inner meatball out in me. So.
Good. Josh Eglin goes easily Billy Bob. They don't get to school if it wasn't for him. They don't win if it wasn't for him. The song There Goes My Hero literally starts to play when Billy Bob goes in, plows through multiple players, and allows Tweeter to block the punt. With that being said, my real unsung hero is Miss Davis. She's been my unsung hero for 20 plus years now.
Thank you.
No explanation.
Who is this?
Neither. This is Josh Eglin.
Josh, let's hang out sometime.
Steph, are you going to pick Miss Davis?
Tony
No. No, I am not.
Oh, come on.
She looks sticky. That's why.
She does look a little sticky.
It's all the glitter.
It's the herpes of craft products. Okay.
Hey, she was a stripper, not a prostitute or a
fair
sex
enough.
worker.
Fair enough.
How do you know?
We never got
Because I would have watched that movie.
Prove it.
Who you got, Steph?
Billy Bob,
Billy Bob.
for sure. He was also the unsung hero in Not Another Teen Movie.
Which I guess I need to for sure.
You have to see it.
You'll love it.
Yeah.
They spoof
It's-
every.
It is
The Breakfast Club,
hilarious.
Pretty in Pink,
Oh. All right.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
You know, because there's those spoof movies that are just like really, really stupid.
Yeah.
You're like, this isn't even funny. It's
Right.
just too dumb.
Yeah.
Not Another Teen Movie, honestly, is not that. Like,
Okay.
it's very, very funny.
Deion Richmond in it, and Chris Evans.
Okay.
Oh, it's so
Lacey
funny.
Chabert shows up, of course. Ron Lester.
Which Cody Avery also went Ron Lester as Billy Bob. I don't know if he's necessarily unsung since he won the game for them in the end, but I love the character, his relationship with the pig, his emotional journey. This movie would not have been the same without him, and his truck kicked ass. Honorable mention goes to Paul Walker. I love that guy, and he was taken way too soon. So Cody with a shout out to Paul, but ultimately is the third vote for Ron Lester. And look, I assumed Billy Bob was probably gonna be the odds-on favorite to win here. Awesome character, loved him, but I'm gonna do a go lab here, and in an effort to reduce redundancy, considering that there is a scene here that's more famous than the movie, and she wasn't in it that much at all. I'm going Allie Larder as the unsung hero of Varsity Blues.
You know, I was thinking that.
She's
to be
a villain.
honest.
But just her performance doesn't matter if she's good or bad. Or whatever,
this
right?
was her
But
She's
first
willing
movie.
to
Yeah.
cause this.
right.
Like, I'm gonna
Mayhem.
I'm gonna.
But the movie is so much more memorable partially because of Allie Larder.
Because of Tony.
She
Perensky.
did a great job.
Yeah.
She did a great job.
Miss Davis.
For her first movie.
That's a woman. She's a sex ed teacher. She knows what she's talking
He's
about.
over there fantasizing about Miss Davis. You can finish your
Miss
thought.
Davis. She's
See, now she is too.
She is now, yeah.
Jake went, look, Tweeter is my vote for Unsung Hero because he is one of the few reasons the movie is watchable. All the one-liners and his timing, he makes Vanderbeek angsty. He makes Vanderbeek's angsty, over-dramatic acting bearable. Plus, the scene with the cops and stealing the car is hilarious. So there's another vote for Tweeter, but Billy Bob's still out in the lead here as we go over to Mueller.
What do we got?
3 for Billy Bob.
Billy
right
Bob.
now.
How many
A bunch of like.
tweeters?
Wait, who are the
one.
3 for Billy Bob?
One tweeter?
Yeah, because we have 2 patrons that voted for
Okay.
Billy Bob, and so did.
I picked Billy Bob.
you picked Billy Bob too.
I guess I still think.
Honestly,
Miss Davis.
Tweeter was like,
Oh no, you're right. The guy changed it to Miss Davis. So I think there's 2 Miss Davis,
That's what I'm.
2
Billy
Billy Bob,
Bobs, 2
1
tweeters.
tweeter. There's 1 tweeter, unless you're going tweeter.
Mueller.
You know what?
Mueller.
I think we're going down a path here of ties, and I'm close between 2, Billy Bob and Tweeter.
Yeah.
Honorable mention to
Billy
Miss
Bob
Davis,
Mueller.
of course,
Billy Bob.
and Allie Larder.
Yeah.
I gotta go Billy Bob. I just love Billy Bob in this so much. Put me in on defense, even though it's special teams.
Yeah.
Look, in either case, a busty fella or lady is winning this. It sounds
Exactly.
like.
Right. I mean, how
Listen,
can you not like Billy
Billy
Bob?
Bob
Billy
Man
Bob
boobs or
has
stripper tits is
the
winning.
win on that one.
Look, he already outshone Miss Davis. He got up there and stripped and had
He
bigger
did.
titties than she did. Okay.
He did the Chris
absolutely-
Farley Chippendales on that stage.
And they're not. Yes, for sure.
And now Clint's doing it over here.
All
in
right,
the corner.
Clint.
Even did Miss Davis's routine better than Miss Davis did.
Amen.
All right, go ahead, Clint. Who you got?
I gotta go with Billy Bob. I love Billy Bob in this thing, man. I love the truck. I love the pig.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Big ol' emotional friggin'
Suck it.
I love
hunk
Billy
of
Bob.
man.
Sorry, Josh. We tried.
But look at this, pulling up to tie Miss Davis here. John Golab went Allie Larder with his vote. That scene, noise. He spelled it that way.
Noice. Noise.
Every time I've done it, it's all runny and gross.
Shaving cream, my guy.
Oh, man.
Shaving cream.
Send us a video
Typically followed by a cease and desist. But he does.
from yourself.
Out here, Chris Evansing the world.
His wife.
He also wants to give out
Don't take a banana from him.
reaching back to our Breaker episode, he wants to give out a Thomas Technical Achievement Award. From the Cool Whip to the landing strip, Wendy Chuck, who was the costume design, was the secret ingredient to unlocking a nationwide puberty surplus. So there you go.
I like it. Yep.
John, great take there, John. But ultimately,
No.
Billy Bob is going to win the Unsung Hero Award.
Chris Evans was my puberty surplus in that bikini.
Nice. All right, guys, it's time to climb the mountain. As we do when we have an actor that's appeared on our show many, many times, we try to ascertain what is the peak of all their movies. Have they been climbing up the mountain that is BMR? Which movie soared to the highest height? Which one made it, summited the mountain? And so today we've got Thomas F. Duffy, who played Mox's dad, appearing in his fourth BMR movie.
He's been in a lot
that
lately.
we've covered. Yes. And so the four movies he's been in was first Rubber, then he was in Lost World, then he was in Wagons East, and then he was in Varsity Blues. So three of them pretty close together after being in Rubber a long time ago.
In Lost World, I'm having trouble picturing him.
He was the bearded scientist that had the long hair, kind of like a hippie. He was
Snake crawled into his shirt. He was like,
oh, a snake.
into the T-Rex mouth.
and he leapt into a T-Rex's mouth to get away from a snake.
Yep.
Okay, got it.
A non-venomous snake.
That would happen to me.
That's right. So I guess we have to say, out of those performances, at least, and the ones that you've seen, maybe you haven't seen all of them, which one do you guys think was the peak performance of Thomas F. Duffy?
This one.
This
You're
one.
both
This
saying
one.
Varsity Blues.
Varsity
Fire that
Blues.
pigskin is it wins it. Sorry,
That's
you're
just
getting
that alone. I'm
You're
going to
getting
be
that beat button ready. But it's
I'm
the
afraid
line
I'm
in the
going to
movie.
miss one. I'm afraid I'm going to miss one. Clint, have you seen? How many of those have you seen?
Lost World and this one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
same.
haven't seen Rubber.
Rubber was. Don't waste your time. I'm putting Rubber at fourth. Okay, out of the four. Like,
I'm going to do it too, just because I've heard.
It's
Yeah, I would.
that movie can go straight to hell. Okay, did you have to watch it when Ryan watched
Nope.
it? You lucked out because he was on that stupid episode. Rubber's last.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Lost World third.
Yeah.
just because I mean it's a better movie than Wagons East, but his performance is what this is about specifically.
Yeah.
And that moron jumped into a T-Rex's mouth
because of a non-venomous snake.
snake. Then I'm going Wagons East as the main Ferguson, essentially. He's Clayton
Right.
Ferguson. And then I think this is the peak Thomas. This might be peak Thomas F. Duffy for his career.
Yes.
Having not seen everything he's done. But this is like
Yeah.
up there.
Yep.
He was in a Steven Seagal movie. Which we haven't done yet. I think it's like either Marked for Death or Above the Law. But
Well, I
Thomas
bet you
F.
did
Duffy-
amazing in that because of the perspective.
Yeah.
That's true. So
He could have been the coffee table in a Seagal movie.
I'd say
It
we're
would've
all in
been good.
agreement, right? But you know what's funny here is Golab actually weighed in on this, and he put Lost World number one for. Maybe he's thinking movie and not performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
But he could
otherwise
be.
He's wrong.
He's going Lost World 1, then Varsity Blues, then Wagons East. But he at least knows enough to have Rubber
Yeah.
fourth.
Rubber
There you
last.
go.
I did.
Screw that.
Wait a
movie.
minute.
Yeah,
So that means Lost World is better than Varsity Blues for him, if that is.
if that might be what he's saying. I don't know. I don't know if he's going by movie or performance. He'll have to clarify with us. But there is another important award before we get to our final rating here that we need to hand out whenever there's multiple options here. We've got the Sherilyn Fenn Hot Babe Award as created by Bob Hauser. And so we
man.
got a movie here. We got Miss Davis. We got Allie Larder. We got Amy Smart. We got girls concussing themselves, bouncing off the gym floor when Paul Walker speaks. Okay. The girls in Tweeter's cop car. I mean, there's all kinds of people in here. Who's the hottest babe in this movie?
Sophomore in the front seat of the cop car. Sorry, it wasn't my turn.
It's her only. She's credited as Naked Girl. It's her only credit.
Yeah. It's her only.
Only movie she's ever been in.
Is it really?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe something on Vivid Videos or something. but
I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm assuming you're going Miss Davis out of those three.
I'm going Amy Smart.
I was just saying you've been this whole time saying you'd go after Amy Smart.
yeah, because I think if we're talking about total package, Amy Smart. Yeah. Absolutely. She's
I think
philosophical. She's deep. She wants to be against the culture. She's got that. Yeah.
I think it's a 2-horse race. No offense to Miss Davis. For me, personally.
Well, Allie Larder's out for me in this movie.
It's just because
of her character.
Yeah, but I'm not basing it off the character.
I am.
I'm just...
Well, as far as looks are concerned, in my opinion, I think Amy Smart takes it. I think she's gorgeous.
Allie Larder is one of those ones, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And of course, this might be my older woman bias, has gotten hotter and hotter as she has gotten older and older.
That's just because you're weird and you only like girls over 50 unless it's your wife.
40. But yeah. I like women. I don't like girls. I like women.
You're going the girl in the cop car?
I mean, I agree. Like, I like men, Like, I would, over 40. Like, yeah. They can be good.
Okay, so who wins the Sherilyn Fenn Award for this movie? You're saying Amy Smart?
Yes.
Ryan? Am I on Solo Island with Allie Larder over here?
No, you're not wrong.
So.
You just like blondes.
Let's get him on that.
Like, that's been a thing. You like what's her name from DOA?
Whatever. So what?
Jamie Lee Presley? Oh,
Yes.
man. Yeah.
She's
I'm
also
some
in
kind of
another teen
idiot.
movie.
Thank you.
Yeah, she is.
I'm some kind of idiot because I thought Jamie Lee Presley.
Jamie Lee
was
Presley
hot.
is hot.
Okay.
She's got that.
What am I thinking?
She's got that trailer appeal, man.
Yeah.
I like
I mean,
that
it's close,
broken,
but I gotta.
that broken.
It's a whipped cream
Trailer
bikini,
park.
man. I gotta go with Allie Larder.
Thank you,
The
Ryan.
whipped cream bikini.
Okay.
Got to.
So let's wait. That's 2 for Amy Smart. 2. And you. Well, let's see if we have. Do we have somebody that? Oh yeah, Cody did play along, but he said Miss Davis.
He's not wrong there either, though.
He gives it a 10.
There's no
Miss
wrong
Davis
answer.
is the one that teaches you what to do.
All right, Clint, you're gonna have
Amy
to.
Smart's the one you marry.
Yeah,
You got to
you're
break the
it's-
tie between.
If
Amy
I got to
Smart-
break the tie between those two,
Yeah.
the whipped cream bikini being as absolutely alluring as it is, she is adorable. Don't get me wrong. 100%.
In the
There's
bag.
nothing you could do about it.
But
no buts.
But so is
Mute him quick.
Amy Smart.
Amy Smart. Like, legitimately, I have
That's
a
right,
thing
James. Suck it.
against just whores in general. She was a whore.
I don't believe in THOT.
That's the first flip flop I think I've thrown in 100 episodes.
Yes.
It was at the kids' table, so it's fair. I'll allow it. But yeah, I would go Amy Smart if I had to pick which one I would rather be with.
Amy Smart wins. Congratulations to Amy. We're moving on. All right.
And apparently the two of them are actually really like best friends
they're
for like
besties.
20 years
Yeah,
now.
they're
Yeah.
besties.
And Amy Smart is pretty much blonde in like every other movie she does.
Yeah, I know.
Jamie Palomino. That's my
Palomino.
movie right there.
So you should just relax, okay?
In that movie, between her and Anna Faris, it's not even close. Amy Smart.
Oh, yeah.
Anna Faris and,
For sure.
and,
Anna Faris in
Just
that
Friends.
movie is hilarious.
She kills
though.
that part.
Oh
though.
my God, she's so funny. And Ryan Reynolds.
Kills it. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with the
He
Ryan
looks
Reynolds.
stickier than Matthew McConaughey
Yeah, he's
does.
pretty
He does
greasy.
not.
Please, he does.
Oh, I'll lick off the stick.
We,
All that
all
maple
right.
syrup.
We got to get to the end here. You have the floor. It's time to give our final ratings. All right, we're gonna marry the subjective and the objective. You guys know what we do here. It's either a bad movie or a good movie, or a bad movie that rules, or a good movie that sucks. Thanks to tiny jazz hands. What you got over there for me, Patrick? You got the floor.
Bad movie, full stop. No,
Gosh.
Almost had him.
it's formulaic.
Yeah.
It's predictable. It's all those things. It's done well. Objectively, I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
Subjectively, I love the movie. It's a great movie.
There you go.
We finally got one that I like.
Hey, look at this. He likes one. Y'all told me Patrick just doesn't like movies.
I love this one. I do think that you had to be. It's one of those movies though where if it comes out at a different era than if this doesn't line up with your own, and I think this is the case with all teen movies. If it doesn't necessarily come up at a time that you were alive and going through it,
Right.
But yeah, I mean the movie is it's just a fun movie to watch. I'm 41 years old and I still am sitting there watching it, going like, yeah, this movie is awesome. I love this movie. I'm having fun watching this movie.
Yeah.
This was probably one of the most raucous episodes I've been on too, where it was like I think genuinely alone with friends. It's going to be a fun watch.
Did Laura enjoy it? Has she ever seen it before?
Yeah, she'd seen it.
Okay. All right. Because it's coming from somebody that wasn't, I don't know, in that lifestyle at the time, I'm assuming.
She played tennis.
Okay, so she's an athlete.
She knew some about, and she even talked about it, bringing back some of those core memories of, how kind of sick high school sports are.
There you go.
Where it's like the coaches care more about their records than your body.
It's true. Josh Eklund goes, I love this movie to the fullest. My father took me and my brother to see this when I was 11. He looks at us.
Jesus.
He looks at us both and said, there's tits in this movie. Be mature. You know what, Dad? For you, I will. This is a 10. A freaking 10. Good movie, full stop from Eglin. Great takes today, Eglin. Nice job, buddy. We go to Steph. You have the floor.
All right. I went into this movie blind. I had not seen it before. I only saw Not Another Teen Movie, so I only saw the spoof of it, and I honestly didn't know where those jokes came from until Ryan was like, by the way, this is the movie that all the other Not Another Teen Movie jokes came from. So I was actually really excited to watch it. Coming in to the podcast, I got a lot of background that I was not aware of that I thought was really, really cool to hear. So it kind of changed my perspective a little bit of it. Awesome. I thought the movie was a little bit ridiculous. I mean, as it is, but honestly, what teen movie about sports is not ridiculous?
Thank you.
They're all ridiculous in their own right, but they're all fun. And
the 90s were a bit ridiculous.
They absolutely were. And
Jamiroquai was a hit.
So all in all, I would say that this is a bad movie that rules.
All right.
I would watch it again. I think that it could have been done so much better.
Okay.
I feel like it had an identity crisis that it didn't know if it wanted to be a comedy. It didn't know if it wanted to be a drama.
Yeah.
So it wasn't there was a weird imbalance to it.
I can see that.
But
that's high school.
Yeah, having the background that I got today, learning about all of that, I can definitely say it's a bad movie that rules, and I will watch it again.
Awesome.
Does it disturb you to know that some of that background,
honestly,
this is real life
honest
stuff
to God,
that goes
it doesn't.
on a football
But you know
field?
what? So it's funny because a little backstory. It's a little different than sports, but I was in band in 7th and 8th grade, and our band teacher was absolutely insane.
Yes.
He was insane. And to add to it, his name was Mr. Bandman. And I'm not joking. His name was actually Mr. Bandman, but he was a f***ing psycho, excuse me. He would throw chairs, he would slam the door, he would throw things at the players, and it's because he wanted you to be the best that you could be. And honestly,
blow that freaking clarinet.
Yeah, blow that clarinet.
You call that a trombone slide?
I practiced out of fear. And I became a very good player because of it.
All
so
right.
I can relate just a little bit.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think band leaders might be even crazier than football coaches.
No, they're insane.
Cody says, good movie, full stop, hands down, no contest. This holds up as one of the best high school football movies out there. I think at one point or another, if you played any type of sports movie, you've come across your own, you played any type of sports, you've come across your own Coach Kilmer, which is you were just literally saying there, Steph. To me, this is a good movie. And also, I'd like to add the soundtrack is awesome. You are right, Cody,
Yes,
on all accounts there. For me on this, guys, I mean, a lot has been said, and a lot will be said. I'll say this. We joke around about the critics all the time. I can't believe, in this case, how wrong the critics were about this movie. There's a formula for a reason. There's only 7 basic plots in storytelling anyway. And so it's about how do you do it within the framework of an existing structure and put your own spin on it and your own characters and all that stuff and add in the music, add in incredible performances. This is objectively good. It's good subjectively. As somebody that lived through it and went through it, this movie nails so much. There's some corniness, some excess where it's but it all still kind of it ends up being seaworthy. It floats and it's awesome. I think this movie is a straight up good movie. 100%. Varsity Blues 25 years later still is awesome. And Jake, I went to you, Ryan, and it's Jake's turn. Jake said, overall, this movie is not the best football movie in the world, and it definitely represented the early aughts and probably would not be able to be made today. But it still brings back fond memories for me, and even with the Vanderbeek's bad acting, I still consider it a good movie, full stop. The good movies are flying today,
They're flying out there.
We come over to you, bud.
Man, please don't hate me for my vote.
Well, you still gave it a positive.
But you know what? I think your bad movie that rules makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
Yeah.
It's a subjective
don't
thing.
hate me.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, does it have some cheese? Yeah. It formulaic, absolutely, right? But there's only so many ways you can do a sports movie.
Yeah.
It's all about the characters. I thought the characters were fantastic. Jon Voight, I don't know if there's anything I don't like him in. He kills it every time he's on screen. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, he's sitting there, he's chewing the scenery, but nobody does it like him, right? I don't get bored with it. It doesn't seem like overt or anything. I mean, it's a straight up good movie. I mean, live through it. Same era, just coming out of high school, right?
Right.
Had experienced a lot of the same craziness that went on in the movie. Were there some problems at the end with the final game? Yeah, but you take and throw it out the windows. They had to. It's the final game. It's like Kilmer's gone. We got to go over the top, right? And I think that's kind of what they did with that final game. Yeah. So overall, great movie. I'm surprised this was the first time I've watched it in years because I loved it when it came out and probably seen it 3-4 times in the first 4 or 5 years it was out. And
I haven't gone back to it forever.
And I'm like, well, it might have to get in the rotation.
Yeah, for sure. GoLab says, look, bad Southern accents be damned. This is always a fun watch. This is a staple for those of us who graduated in the late 1900s, he says. It's
bastard.
Crazy quotable.
Ouch.
The hero worship around small town high school football. The characters are memorable. The girl who makes Ashton go back in time to kill butterflies is good in this movie. I think that's Amy Smart.
Amy Smart.
Butterfly effect.
Yep. Dawson saves the day without crying too much. It fulfills a desire for those who had crushes on teachers. One thing that really bugs me at the end, he says he never plays football again. Did the whole team quit? What about the playoffs, Dawson? Well, like Mox, GoLab is just one man, and GoLab only has one vote. Good movie. Not quite an F and 10, but a good movie from GoLab as we go over to Clint.
Good movie, full stop. Has to be. There's no way around it. I love this movie. I lived through the 90s. The 90s were there. You lived through the 90s. You look at this movie and there's ridiculousness about it. Maybe they should have been in jail as opposed to getting away with it because of being football players and this and that and the other thing. But you know what? We did stuff when we were kids that maybe we would look at as extremely questionable now, and we got away with it too.
That's right.
Not maybe.
Not everybody was so lucky.
That's true.
And it is what it is, but legitimately, the critics hating this movie. Yeah. The critics in the 90s were all 50 years old. Tell me a young critic in the 90s that didn't have it. Now we have critics who are 25, 30. They have more ability to get on and have a voice. So you're going to see different kids' movies rated higher by the critics initially now than we did back then. Yeah. But like legitimately, the critics were wrong because they loved Gidget and Elvis, and that's fine. Well, they can love Gidget and Elvis.
Even Ebert, who I tend to agree with, I thought he was a really good reviewer. He gave this a negative review and said there's some scenes that are really good, but it doesn't add up to anything. And I thought there was a clear and obvious through line. Yeah. I thought it had a message and everything. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't disagree more.
The one thing with the formulaic thing, and maybe I'm just drawing a blank on it, but the overthrowing of a coach.
Yeah.
To the point that like just that running him out. I don't remember that happening before.
No.
And I think it's definitely the fact that this movie started, if I remember correctly, it was partially an MTV production.
No, it was
and
MTV.
It had the Moon Man start. Like, guess what, 50-year-old men, this isn't for you.
I can't remember what the first movie was.
Shit, we're close to that age now.
I read
It is for you now.
I read this.
Yeah, 80-year-old men.
Now, yep. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, James.
No, you're fine. I read this. I can't remember what the movie was. This was only the second movie MTV Studios had put out, and the first one bombed. I can't pull what it was. I don't remember. But this was their second one after a huge disaster, and it's, I think, surprised everybody, and I think the critics were harsh to it for a reason.
Well, maybe the critics are harsh because they don't want to. Well, this thing's going to bomb anyway. We better be right. So they're trying to play the weather. I
don't know. But as we move on and we leave Varsity Blues in the rearview mirror, and more football movies to come. There's a bunch of them that are on our list, like Necessary Roughness and the Adam Sandler remake of The Longest Yard and
Project,
The Replacements. Right, we got all those on there as well. But we're moving on, and so it's time to wake up DH9K, our BMR AI, the supercomputer that tells us what we're going to be watching every week. And for those, some of you haven't had a chance to meet her. I know, Patrick,
I have.
you were
We're
here
friends. Yeah,
when she
she's
professed her
great.
love for Ryan Farrell. I don't know
She's
if you heard
amazing.
about this.
What?
He didn't tell you?
No.
So our AI thought, because his name is the Human Movie Database, that he was also a computer, and so she's kind of got a thing for him. And
That's awesome.
She wants to connect their servos or whatever.
She's Allie Larder to your Amy Smart.
Man, I'm telling you, I bet he's
guess.
like,
So
I bet he's over the moon. About
he was
that.
pretty thrilled about it, to be honest. So
Of course he is.
DH9K, are you awake?
Hello, my name is DH9K and I am ready for query.
Hi. What movie are we going to be watching next week?
Next week you will watch The Villain from 1979 starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't want to hear any complaining.
I'm not complaining.
Nobody's complaining.
DH9K
Man,
is so
she's sassy.
freaking harsh sometimes. No one's complaining. It's an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I'm excited. I've never seen The Villain. It's I guess all I know about it's like a screwball comedy western. Well, we just did one. Kirk Douglas and Margaret, and then like a supporting role, a very young Arnold Schwarzenegger is in this movie. So that's pretty awesome. DH9K, have you ever seen The Villain?
No.
Oh, well, okay. Can't get her opinion on it. Oh.
Do you want Ryan Farrell, the Human Movie Database, to be on the episode?
Will Ryan Farrell be there? He is so cute. Will Ryan Farrell
his wife is right here. Chill out, DH9K. I'm sorry.
Wow. She's feisty. I kind of like it. Hey, do you want to have dinner with us
Thruppling
sometime?
is going to happen now.
Yes.
What?
Okay.
Well,
Call me.
Anyway,
Hey, where's that music?
No, we're not playing sexy time music.
No, sexy time
Nothing
music.
can happen with DH9K. She's a disembodied AI. Okay.
Didn't Joaquin Phoenix make a movie about
Right.
that?
I was about to say, I'm like, there's
that
plenty
movie
of
called
movies
Her?
where
DH9K, you don't have the capability to consummate anything with Ryan, correct?
I lie in wait for the moment of robotic salvation.
Okay. All right. Sometimes she's just got some glitches that we're still trying to work out with her. It's kind of crazy.
where would you take him on a date?
I don't understand. I am just a simple robot.
No, she tends to answer
Okay.
yes or no questions a little bit better. We're still, like I said, she's still in the beta, phase of
Testing
of
phase.
the testing phase of all that, right? I'm not saying you're. Look, before I put her to sleep, if there's anything else you want to ask her,
Jerry.
Ha, ha, ha. You are not funny.
I am. I'm hilarious.
she's feisty today. I like
is
this
feisty
for you,
today.
H9K.
Yeah.
All right, thank you for letting us know. It's time to go back to sleep. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Good night. Jeez, guys. All right. I'm happy that she's part of this now. Thanks to Madela.
Yeah, me
hear
too. I'm
more
so
from her
happy
very
about
often.
it.
Well, look, you're jealous of a robot. She's not even a robot. She doesn't even have parts.
I'm not.
Okay.
Right. Rosie had parts.
Right.
It's true. So I just want to say thank you guys for being here, and catch us next week for The Villain, where I think Madela is going to be back in for The Villain, and I'm trying to remember who else is in there. It's not Farrell. He's not coming in until a couple weeks from now, so he won't be here for that one. But The Villain, it's an Arnie movie. It's going to be awesome. Thanks to Pat Riley. Thanks to Steph Farrell for being here. The mayor, Ryan Mueller. The dirt farmer, Clint Bush. We are going to catch you guys on the next one. We'll see you next time. If there's pig skins that need to be fired, you need Johnny Moxon. Step on up.
It's a 10. It's a 10.
Oh, you don't think I can mess with your scholarship, boy? Never show weakness. Never show weakness. You gonna play every minute of that game, boy.
Whipped cream bikini. Whipped cream bikini.
Don't sit on the couch. That's just nasty.
Chocolate starfish.
We go to prom with me as Davis.